Hello everyone, how is the audio doing today? Don't need everything, that doesn't need to be there. I'm mostly set up. I would have been here earlier, except for the British train system. Oh, the British train system is so very, very flawed. I would have been here an hour early. Instead, I was slightly late. That means I've spent just over an hour on a train that I shouldn't have been on, going backwards to get to another train to take me to where I wanted to be. It's great. No, it's not a strike. It was complications with the line due to lack of maintenance. Oh dear. No, not a leaf on the line. We mourn for leaves on the line. This was signals not working and points not connecting, and so we couldn't get into the station. It's very standard. Thank you for the many hearts. I hope you're all leveling up yourselves in chat. See the little crown things? You get crown things if you level yourself up in chat. Oh, we have so many things I want to cover, and I've already lost 15 minutes, but never mind. Where do I want to be? We want to be waiting for the Warhammer channel, which is going to Warhammer at us. How good it Warhammers, we don't know. We have concerns, of course, about the Deathwatch. We may be getting Chaos Dwarves, considering the tallness of hats that has been mentioned. Right. Okay, good, good. I will adjust that, but it's working. You can go up there and then be about that size, and that should be fine. When that starts... Yes, okay, good, good. When that starts, I will turn the audio on so you can actually hear it. But it's there, it's coming. We're doing a preview. We're going to be getting a preview. Oh. Have Sisters of Battle ever gone to Necromunda? I don't think so. Space Marines definitely have, because there's Ultramarines in like older missions from the 90s. The Imperial Fists recruit on Necromunda, as well as Terra. The Genestealer cult has definitely been to Necromunda. No Harlequin models in over 11 years. Well, that's not too bad. The Grey Knights are surviving, not having gotten a new model since, I think, 2013, 2012, maybe earlier, 2011. I want to say 2011, because the Deathwatch had their release and basically only released in 2016s, and I'm okay with 2016 Deathwatch. It's a really nice veteran kit. Oh, it could be so much worse. Because Deathwatch as an army, they're the big concern. I will say they're the big concern today. It's hard to collect Deathwatch for all the different kill teams, apart from the veteran kill team, which is the kit, which has the Thunderhammers and the Frag Cannons and the Infernus Heavy Bolters, which is a Heavy Flamer strapped to a Heavy Bolter. And I thought it looked stupid at the time, but I'm now come round to like, that's actually pretty cool. If there are new Deathwatch, even if it's for a kill team, are they Agents Deathwatch or are they Astartes Deathwatch? We don't know. We're still missing a lot of FAQs for how kill team characters work with the whole mixed toughness and about Oath of Moment. I mentioned all these in a video, which is my most recent video, which you should have time to watch before the live stream starts if you so wish. Of course, you're here. You're watching me. You don't need to have me talking to you while I'm talking to you. The kill team rules, it could be like, here's your new squad of 10 Deathwatch veterans. It's a squad of 10, but only 6 of them are used in the kill team games. That would be very similar to how, like, the Stealthy Marines work at their kill team, and also the Night Lord's kill team. It would be nice if we got some bolt pistols, because when I've been playing Deathwatch, I'm like, I'll fire pistols. No, I can't fire pistols. We don't have pistols. Their bolters could have the pistol keyword. I don't see why not. You can clearly fire them one-handed from the models. So replacements for the Deathwatch veterans would be bad. An upgrade sprue for the Stern Guard would be okay, and they could certainly do with a new combat patrol. remind me in the comments after this live stream, if there's no new Deathwatch Combat Patrol, I should make a video designing a Combat Patrol. At this point, we're unlikely to see any new Sisters or Genestealer cults in Kill Team, even though we really want them. Actually, they might do what the Sanctifiers did, which is be a Agents Kill Team and also a Sisters Kill Team. So Deathwatch may be Agents Deathwatch and also Astartes Deathwatch. Or if it's just one and not the other, that's a problem. I doubt there'll be anything in terms of like rules for agents. This isn't a rules time. This is a models time. We're seeing the models that will get rules several months down the line. The last preview was, what, March time? And we've got rules a couple of weeks ago for like the Skitarii and the Raveners. So that's how long you got to wait. What are we saying? Astartes Deathwatch might be phased out as they got fewer players and boxes. No, I don't think they would have brought back Deathwatch in Deathwatch Index 2 this time it's personal if there wasn't a big love of Deathwatch. I have my Deathwatch hat with me, except it doesn't fit too well on my head because it attaches to the hair and then it flails about. So it's attached to the shoulder and I have my Deathwatch shoulder pad. It's going to be great. Yeah, it's always been annoying that Deathwatch doesn't have a kill team in the game named after them. In Deathwatch Kill Team, in the Kill Team game for 2016, like the tabletop one, there was a Deathwatch squad. It was pretty cool because you got like 3 kinds of ammunition for your shotguns, 2 kinds of ammunition for your frag cannon. You could have power swords and power mauls, and they were different. You could add in like power fists and heavy bolters and missile launchers, things from regular Space Marine kits. Oh, you don't think the veteran sprue will change at all? They'll just repackage it into a Kill Team trademark box with markers and be double the price? I think that's possible. Primarisized Kill Team Cassius. Now, canonically, I don't know how many of Kill Team Cassius are dead, because they were active in 745 of the 41st millennium. So in the last 250 years, they may not have stayed with the Deathwatch. We know that Cassius left the Deathwatch, rejoined the Ultramarines, told them all about the Tyranids, helped make the Tyrannic War veterans, and then went back... I don't know, maybe he didn't go back to the Deathwatch. So a Primaris Kill Team Cassius may happen, or it may be more generic. Like an Aquila Kill Team was the generic Kill Team, which is what Kill Team Cassius was. Because last edition they had rules for like so many different kinds of kill team. You could say, yeah, this is a thing, I'm upgrading them. This is a special kind of kill team. I pay extra points. They reroll wound rolls against battle line units, or as they were called then, troops. I think people have gotten used to battle line very quickly as a term. That's good. That is definitely good. Oh yeah, this week we've also had the whole debacle over Horus heresy, where there are very few units in their Liber, which is their codex, and not all the weapon options. Then there's been a sort of apology article, or explainer article from Games Workshop, confirming that the Liber has the currently sold models, they get core rules, others will get legacy or legends rules, but the legacy or legends rules can still be used all of the places that core rules can be used, including tournaments, unless it's a non-Games Workshop tournament, and then the tournament organizer specifically wants to exclude legacy rules. Which they could, as they could ban anything, as we saw at the start of this edition, when Eldar were just banned from some tournaments. Ah, good times. So Horus Heresy Legends are intended to be used in tournaments. Maybe they will get some limited balance, or maybe Games Workshop's like, we're calling this a narrative system so we don't have to care about balance. Whereas the 40k Legends rarely get updates. We saw that when all the Eldar units went to Legends, then they had the wrong keywords, the wrong abilities. It did not function. It took a while. We then got... Oh, we've had a couple of units like get updates in Legends. We've had some units come out of Legends, like the Cultist Firebrand for Chaos, like the Navigator for the Imperial Agents. We're waiting on the Space Wolf Legends at the moment. So we might get like the Hounds of Morkai there. You might get Longfangs, or it may be use Devastator squads. Because I think they're still excluded from using Devastator squads, or maybe that's not there anymore. I don't know. I'll have to check the horrible wolf book. And we don't do Space Wolves on this channel. More and more 40k tournaments are allowing Legends, so that's cool. That's a move in the right direction. Games Workshop also had this like, oh, we had fewer rules for smaller books, so it's easy to carry your Horus Heresy books, but you still need like 3 books and then more PDFs to print off. So I don't know how much digital or app support there'll be for Horus Heresy or their legacy rules, which is a shame. The legacy rules are free and accessible. I like that about the Deathwatch index. Anyone can see it. Anyone can go, oh, I wonder what the Deathwatch can do, and it's right there. Not all of the Space Marine rules, but right there, Space Marine rules. Okay. It should be starting in any minute. Not any minute. Mild delays. Angry sand noises for Space Wolf mention. I know. Playing Space Marine 2 has been kind of fun at the moment. I'm liking their siege mode. I think I've played enough of it that I'm good at it. I can do the 25 levels on normal. I can do about 10 levels on hard. Horus did nothing wrong. Well, Horus maybe did some things wrong. He didn't win. That's wrong. Abaddon hates him from that. One of the famous quotes from Abaddon is, Horus was weak, Horus was a fool. He had the entire galaxy in his grasp and let it slip through his fingers. I remember that quote from like the 4th edition Chaos Space Marine Codex. So Abaddon doesn't much like Horus. He's like, I'm going to be Horus too, which is admittedly what all of the like leader characters for their respective legions were. Khan the Betrayer is Angron 2. Ahriman is Magnus the Red 2. And then they brought out the Primarchs again, and suddenly the Primarchs are there, and also the people that are meant to be them, but in the 41st millennium, like their analogues, their equivalent, their, hey, we don't have the time of gods right now, but then suddenly it's the time of gods right now. Again. Oh yeah, you're going to get some more rules for Horus Heresy. So Black Shields and the Shattered Legions, they will be able to have some rules. Now, we are expecting a lot of different things for this live stream, if I can see my own thumbnail. 40k, Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Underworlds, nothing for Warcry, so that suggests Warcry may not be continuing. There is stuff for Legions Imperialis. That could be any of the things. It could be Harlequins for Legions Imperialis, for all we know. Warhammer the Old World, we're expecting Chaos Dwarves. Horus Heresy, we're expecting, well, something with rules, I would hope. Kill Team, and then Black Library. So we don't know what the Black Library thing might be. It might be one new character model, and that is it. Oh, special helmet on siege mode. Oh, okay, that's a thought. More Black Stars. Could have more Flyers and Black Stars. Oh, yeah, we haven't got anything for Blood Bowl this time. Usually there's something cool for Blood Bowl. I've played a few games of Blood Bowl in the many editions of Blood Bowl there have been. It's generally fun. I like it. I don't know if speaking in Russian automatically gets translated or not. I'm assuming it's Russian. It may have to be you'll have to speak in English, otherwise we won't know what you're saying. Right. Other different... I don't know if there's any new game modes going to be coming out. There could be. 1,000 points playing... Where was that? 1,000 points for Sisters versus Deathwatch is a very hard game. Kind of hard for both people, although for Sisters, if you play Hallowed Martyrs or Champions of Faith, they both work very well at 1,000 points, especially Champions of Faith. Deathwatch certainly struggles at 1,000 points because you have very few units to complete the things. That's why you need Deathwatch veterans, because in the new... Or Intercessors, also Intercessors work, sticky objectives. In the 2025-2026 mission deck, at 1,000 points, your battle line units can move and advance and complete actions, or they can move and shoot and complete actions. Or if you have something that lets you advance and shoot, you can also complete actions. Yes. Plastic Warhound Titan? Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't think they'll do any new mission cards. I don't think there'll be anything new. I think that's it for like a mission deck for 40k for this edition. They had Leviathan for a year, had Prior Nexus for a year. Considering the current pack is called 2025 to 2026, I think we can be rather certain that that's it until the this time next year in 2026. Oh, I helped decide on a Triumph for St. Catherine at 1,000 points. Okay. Hey, that's a really powerful, like, hammer unit. That's going to get you in there and get everything else there. An end of edition campaign. I don't know about that. They haven't really done proper campaigns this edition. We've had the Crusade rules. We certainly had Crusade rules. So we've had Armageddon. We've had Nakbad Gauntlet, which was a bit rushed. We've had Pariah Nexus, which was around for the longest, which had a bit more lore. We had at the start of the edition the 4th Tyrannic War, but hey, that's just more of High Fleet Leviathan. So 11th edition is expected in June of 2026, with previews for 11th edition coming out around March. Yeah, so that is definitely what we're expecting. Is 11th edition going to come sooner? Oh.
Excited to welcome you today to the big summer Warhammer preview. My name is Adam Troke. I'm joined by my friend and colleague Eddie Eccles, and it is our delight.
Can we hear that all right?
This show.
Yeah, very exciting. We have a big preview today.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of Warhammer. We've got stuff from all sorts of different settings, from Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, some Horus Heresy in the mix there as well. There's a little bit of something for everybody, it's fair to say.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Let's talk about how it's going to work a little bit. If you're new, maybe this is your first Warhammer preview you've joined in. We are your hosts.
Ooh,
but we
type
are not
1 in
alone.
the chat if
We
you've
have
never been
the
to a Warhammer
excellent
preview
Simon
before.
Grant sat over there in Question Corner. Simon, what are you doing today?
Hey folks, welcome to the show.
Hello, his name's Simon.
On behalf of Eddie and
Name
Adam.
card is not
if
Simon.
If you do have any questions that you'd like to ask them, please start your question with question in big letters, capital letters at the start of all your comments.
Okay, so you can bother their
chat.
chat.
I'll do my best to track them, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity later on the show to ask Eddie and Adam those questions.
Perfect, thanks Simon.
Excellent.
We're going to be taking some breaks throughout the sort of proceedings to try and field a few of those questions. We have a lot of content
question
to
breaks.
cover
Okay,
off.
okay.
We think we're going to
You
be
can
here
also
for
bother my chat. Yes, of
between
course.
an hour and 90
You can talk to one another.
if we go fast. So bear with us and we'll do our best. We're aware the chat is still filling up. There's people flooding in from around the world.
Oh no, they're going to ask where people are from.
Throw a question out there, maybe get you involved, which is let us know where in the world you're from.
There it is, every time. It's like basic streaming 101. Hey, where are people from? And then everyone can type something. You don't need to type question in my chat to type a question. I will kind of be following with the chat. Our chat. This chat, the cool chat.
Some white scars on my table at the moment, got them all sprayed up, and I've started painting a jet bike, but using some of the Horus Heresy transfers on the side, so it looks very nice. Looking forward
Okay,
to
what are
I've also
the rest of you
Space Wolves,
actually
bought the
painting
new,
and
Space
stuff?
Wolf box. Like a lot of people, very excited by the new Space Wolf army as well.
People from Terra.
Good,
Terra, good planet.
Box. I think that has brought
Holy
a lot
planet.
of people to Fenris, that particular box. How about yourself? Have been doing any
Well,
cool
I'm
Warhammer?
glad you asked. The short answer is
Sisters,
yes,
we've got
I
sisters
bought
painting
myself
clowns.
some
There could be more
new
clowns.
kill team.
Expect
Went
new
for the Harlequins,
clowns.
yesterday.
Oh yeah, they might do like a hey, this is the Space Marine 2 Codex, second Space Marine Codex, and then Votann and Dark Eldar will be like, hey, I would love to have one Codex, please.
Super fun.
It would be great if we could have just one Codex, and Space Marines are getting their second, like, equal attention Codex. Like, it's been so long since we had a Codex. Have another Codex.
Hiking, backpacking around
the more Ravenous.
What an unexpected journey.
Waiting for Saturn 9. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good.
It was really fun. Thank you.
Space Marine Codex 2 could still be terrible. I know, and they'll have to redo Oath of Moment again, of course. Because we've had an index version of Space Marine 1 version and then another version.
From Australia, Canada, USA, Spain, pretty much all over the globe. Someone's claiming they're even from Caliban. I'm not sure the truth of that one.
Only the very
I'd be suspicious of people from Caliban.
Come from such an estimable place. Awesome. Right. So, as I said before, we've got
3D print knights. Yeah, that's a good idea, especially for a knight army.
Like wall-to-wall Warhammer content in this big summer Warhammer preview.
What, the first Codex? 1 week before the new data sheet. Yeah, that's always the way. But if you have like sticky notes, you can just write on the changes. That's what I did for like even the 8th edition Codex.
Okay, cool.
Kept me going through 9th edition. All right, they're from the White Dwarf team. Okay. Votann. Tall Votann? Why are there tall Votann? mortar thing. So Votann are actually getting something. That's a change. Okay. Some new Votann.
Just two little dudes on a road trip.
What an incredible set of reveals for the Leagues of
Alright,
Votann.
so looking again.
So this is the largest release for the Leagues of Votann since the initial release.
Okay, it's
of
the
army.
second release of
It
the
is a
Leagues of
huge
Votann.
expansion,
It's like the only
all in
release they've
plastic
had.
For that force.
Yeah, we're getting
There is new
tall
heavy
boys.
infantry, there's some new
So
artillery,
a master of
there's loads new,
tactics
really
is the guy
characterful,
with his hands together and
characters
little
added to the army. There's some
Doc
new
Ock
vehicles,
tentacles.
all sorts of stuff. So
The
there's
Capricious
a
is
kind
the
of shot
scout
of the full army
transport.
there, but let's take a closer look at some
So
of
I
the
don't know if that's gonna be a
specific
big
models,
thing
the
or
specific
not.
units being added into the force.
Like-
We'll start with
The
sort of
Steel Jacks
Archivist
are the heavy
Yeah,
infantrymen.
so within the Leagues of Votann, they're not
And then an
afraid of
Earthshaker,
developing technology
subterranean
and
artillery. So
expanding
they've
understanding.
stolen
And so an archivist evaluator
the Thunderstrike
is kind
cannon,
of,
the mining
aside
cannon.
from the ordinary kin within sort of the war bands. that,
An
operate,
evaluator,
he's a member
which
of
is
the
like an
science
old
guilds
science
that are
guy.
responsible for new technologies, and he brings to battle an experimental weapon in the sort of closing phases of development. This is
Right.
a
He's got
transmatter
a
inverter.
A
a cool
very
name.
Yeah, it's got 4 fire
Sonic
modes,
movie kind of
and
beard
the
going
highest
on there.
one, it
Or you can have a
literally
hat.
triggers lethal atomic transformations. What that means.
Not bad, not
is
bad.
Yeah, so he's taken out his new experimental
Votann crossed with the
weapon, basically,
Rubik
to the
Marines.
battlefield,
Yeah,
to
that's
see
what I'm
if it
thinking.
is, as he suspects, powerful enough to melt Space Marines, tanks,
That's
or
what I'm
tyranid
thinking.
monsters, whatever he happens to come up against.
You
much
should
yes.
wear
Pretty
helmets,
much yes
but
to all
that's
of
a
the above.
very
He's
nice
not
looking
part of the
head.
official
It
sort of
doesn't
Leagues
look
of
too
Votann
difficult.
military
Like you could
hierarchy,
make that out
so he
of
doesn't
Warhammer
join the
Fantasy
units necessarily,
Dwarves.
but he kind of hangs around in your
I
army
see
next
that
to
being
them,
pretty
and
easy
he's
to
got
do.
kind of loan up
The only thing
predictability
that's
if he's near
screaming
you,
this
do
is
that sort of
40k to
thing.
me is the
But a
logo on
very
the side,
useful, characterful little model
and
to
maybe
add
the
into
tube
your
things.
Leagues of Votann
But that's
force.
like,
and a nice way of
yeah,
kind of
that's the
showing
standard
the,
dwarf, I think.
some of the kind of lore and culture of the army.
Primaris
as well, for Leagues of
Votann, that's what we've
Yeah, it's
got.
a little bit of a
Thank you, Win
behind the
Bintan.
sort of the curtain, isn't it? And you can see some really cool things that sort of key into that. He's got these optics on his weapon that you can almost imagine sort of recording the data from the results.
That's a very cool head as well. Kind of mad
Seismic
scientist
cannons
vibe.
for the
and
Votann.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to, there's
Oh
a
yeah, it'll
separate,
definitely be £28 for the
different
one
head,
model.
that you can have, which is helmeted.
No
or if you just
doubt.
fancy some health and safety protocols, then
Absolutely.
that's the way to go. Next up, my absolute standout favourite. This is the thing that made me march into Warhammer World yesterday and buy some.
See, there's Doc
Leagues of
Ock,
Votann models for myself.
the
Memnir
strategist. The
He is an Iron King. Those of you who are fans of League of Votann will understand that. the
Makes a
Iron
good
King are
Nexus, that's what I'm seeing.
Abominable
Gene Stealer Cult
intelligence.
Nexus.
not in their mind.
Just swap
but
the head,
they're artificial
if you can swap the
intelligences
head.
Which they hold an equal
Visor looks
position within
alright.
Votann society. There's a CU.
I wonder
unit
if
inside
that
of each of them.
that data pad
And that's
actually
sort of
has
within
that
the
like
Iron
sculpted
Dome
on, or if you have to
head.
paint
The
that
first
yourself
cool
really,
thing
really
about
well.
this model is that you see the little
The meme
mini
strategist.
on,
That's what we'll call him.
in
The
Imperial
meme
called
strategist.
dendrites, right? These
Very scheming and
cables that
evil.
connect
Yeah,
each
I
of
don't
those
know
as an
if
additional
they're.
CU unit.
That's like
You
knuckles
combine
together
intelligence
and then
with
his
multiple
thumbs together.
Ironkin, essentially,
It's like what
and
we've
he
seen on
uses
one of the
that
Tech Priest
to
models, the big fat
enormous
floating
effect
Tech
in
Priest
terms
man,
of strategy
and it
and
looks
tactics on
odd.
the
I mean,
battlefield,
they
directing
look.
the
The
efforts
previous
of
one
the
looked like he
kin
was saying
around him.
shush, shush, shush.
Fusion to a rule
Shush.
as well, which is known as yield points.
Yeah, that's like a
We'll
robot
talk a
head.
little
They're
bit more
going very
about
much on
later.
the robot heads.
And most importantly, he
Mad
looks
scientists,
amazing.
evil plotting.
It's a
It can
very,
work.
very cool
I could be
miniature,
okay with that.
really
It does
characteristic.
feel
I think,
too Gene
also
Stealer
got
Cult.
some spare
I'll
arms
happily
on the front
take
there,
that
which is
as a
holding onto
Nexus.
his-
Arms.
holding onto his little
Nexus
data
around
pad,
like
he's
40
tapping away on there,
millimeters.
giving orders to all the various kin and
Looks
Leagues of
very
Votann units
evil.
across
Looks
the
heretical.
battlefield.
Oh, he's got a
And his
tiny
main pair
little
of arms
arm.
he's used to
Don't say he's
hold
got
in
like a
his
robot
contemplative
fetus within
state, which is
himself that's
the
got
exact
2
pose
arms.
that I have when I'm
That
controlling
would
my
be
movement
weird.
in Warhammer 40,000.
And if you want to dazzle your friends with some knowledge, the array
Horus Heresy
he's got
release
on
could
his
be new
back is called a
Custodes. That could
cognitive
work, but then how many of them are going to be in 40k?
extra
Because
brain
most of the Custodes range is in
sensational.
Horus Heresy right
Speaking
now.
of Ironkin,
As legends.
these are
Or not
elite
legends.
units of Ironkin. They are
Imperial
called
armor.
Steeljacks.
So
You
it's
touch them all
not
in
the
one
same as
name.
legends, but it's
Eddie,
basically
what's the story?
legends.
Yeah, so this is the Ironkin Steeljacks. They are a specialist war.
Yeah,
more
some
warrior
tentacles
type
instead of
Ironkin. A lot of the
So-
Ironkin are
right,
fairly
okay, what
sort
are we doing with
of,
big
helpful.
Votann?
Their kind of
They
default
fill normal
yeah,
civilian roles in
their
society.
default status as sort of friendly, affable. Helpers
It's
for
big,
the
tall
Votann
robots.
kin. These are a much more warlike
Okay,
programming,
explain
so
to me
they
this.
march out actively
How
into
can
battle,
you be a
seeking
dwarf
conflict.
faction and
They are
also
in very
tall?
large suits of armor, so they
That
stand
doesn't
out
make
of,
sense.
almost
Your
twice the
one
height
trait
of,
is
a kin or
being
a League of
small,
Votann warrior,
and now you have
and they
big
got
people.
Some pretty decent weaponry as well.
This-
You can kit them out.
mean,
variety
hey,
of different
do a
ways
head
to
swap,
either
and
go,
that is a space marine.
combat leaning. This is an example there.
I don't see how that's not like that. Does look like a Primaris Marine. As when Bintan, who kindly gave me 5 monies, has said, "This is Primaris Votann."
The closest approximate. So
there's your power fist. There's your heavy bolt rifle.
Very good for doing things like moving on to an objective and trying to hold
yeah,
on
Sekitar,
to it,
Votann,
and
yeah,
fighting off
yeah,
counterattacks, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, in real terms,
it's very much copying the
heavily
previous
armored,
Thousand Suns. We didn't
extremely
like the Thousand
dangerous
Suns too
unit.
much. You
You
can see the
the leader of the
toes.
squad.
I don't know if they
Put
need
these pictures by
toes.
the
Oh, I suppose you do.
crest
They're very
sort
good
of
for
rises
walking.
above his head.
I recommend having
There we are
toes
in the
whenever you're
background.
walking.
He's got a plasma sword. Guy on the front's got a concussion fist.
Right, so
great
Chaos
addition
Dwarves
to
heighten
the,
themselves with a
League of
tall
Votann, I
hat,
think it's fair to
therefore
say.
these are Chaos
We're
Votann.
not done.
Men of
But,
Iron inspired?
the Chthonian
Maybe,
Earthshaker
maybe.
channels some really strong energy from that sort of
Okay,
rogue
the
trader era.
Chthonian
Remember mole horses, the
Earthshaker.
squat
Very
armies?
well, yes.
So these are sort of inverse artillery in that rather than lobbing a
That
shot
also
high above the
seems
enemy,
like
they
it's
fire
taken
those
something
mole
from the
shells
Space
that you can
Marines
see down at the
and
bottom,
then said, "It's
deep
ours
into the
now."
ground. They burrow in on the enemy.
What was the
and
name of
emerge,
that cannon?
in a trench line, in a bunker, and just blow everyone to
Was it the
Each
Thunderfire
one of these
cannon?
is
I
a
said
really lovely sort
Thunderfire
of dire
cannon.
armor in their own right as well. So
Yeah,
you can see,
Thunderfire cannon. That has the
kin there
underground
working with
burrowing
the Iron
shells.
Kin, loading up the artillery. You can see one of them there with his little scanner, almost directing the mole as it kind
Little
of
man doing a
buries
little
underground
scan.
towards the enemy fortification.
This is a
Obviously, it's a powerful piece in game. You've got all sorts of nice kind
Is
of
it a
ways that this
powerful
will
piece in
bolster your
game? We
Legion
don't
Votann
know
force,
how
which at the
powerful
moment
it is in
maybe
game.
doesn't have a huge
It
amount
could
of
be
very
way
long-range,
overpointed. They
artillery.
just always want things to be powerful when they
Yeah,
first come out.
It's a great kit, really.
Awesome. Speaking of the bigger models that are inside this launch, we have the Capricus. So the Capricus.
Yeah,
is one of those
Thunderfire
kits
cannon
that
was a
makes
big
two
track
things.
gun. So this is maybe
you can see the
stationary.
Capricus Defender,
Strength
the
6
Capricus
AP
Carrier,
nothing?
and
I guess so.
Essentially, it is
Thank you,
either
Curtis.
a sort of attack vehicle for the
I'm doing
king,
well.
or it's a
Holding up
transport
for Black
vehicle.
Templars.
They've
Their Codex
got,
is coming
so
soon, so there should be
this is
something
the
for them.
carrier, so it's a smaller gun. It's got less other weapons.
Oh yeah,
on
if it's
it,
indirect
it's a
fire,
storage
it'll
bag,
be about
so
200
it'll
points.
provide
We
the
know
back.
how it works with like the Exorcist
Whichever
and the
you take,
Imperial Guard things.
essentially, this is enabling your Honekin to get around from A to B and hold the ground that they're taking.
Yeah, so it adds a bit of a
Okay.
mobility into
All
your
right, so
Legion
there's
Votann
2
force.
models you can get from it.
Carries 5 models, so it works a
The
little
Defender,
bit like,
which is a mini
the
transport.
other kind of Leagues of Votann transports where you pick
Not
one of
like
your
a
units,
Sagittar.
it can split into 2
All right,
groups
okay,
of
so
5.
it is like
5
the
of them can ride
Sagittar.
around
It's
in one of
almost
these. If
exactly
you've got
like
2
the
of transports,
Sagittar,
you can
where you
obviously
have a
ride
squad
around
of
two of
10
the
split it into
transports.
2 lots of 5, and
as
then
you
you
say,
transport
you
one
can
of
choose
them.
between either having the transport option or you can just have
How
all
OP
the
will
guns and
Votann
have
be
a-
on
a
release this time?
fast-moving fire
Hopefully
support
not
unit.
Yeah, for me, this is
too
stunning. This is what made me
dangerous.
march off to,
They were
to
horrible when they
ride
came out in
them.
9th
Some
edition,
really
but that
lovely
was
little
like
touches
buy
on
our
this.
totally
The
new
stove
faction.
bags are really nice at
They
the
already
back.
have
I
people
like
for
that
it.
you
And
can
start
build
10th
this with
edition,
2
Votann
Iron
were
Kin
bad,
as
and
well.
they've
So if
not
you're
been
playing
great.
entirely
I think
and an
they've
Iron
barely
Kin gunner,
broken
you can
50%
build
win
them
rate
like
at
that.
tournaments.
Fans of Iron Kin generally, there is a lot of Iron Kin.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
yeah,
we've
quite
only
well
had the
used
Votann
generally,
stuff.
certainly.
Nothing for Deathwatch yet. And I'm okay with
There's
that. I'm
also
totally okay
a
with that.
new, combat patrol for the Leagues of Votann on the way.
Okay, that's interesting combat patrol.
If you're new, let me explain what they
5
do.
of their
It's a fantastic way
Terminator
to
types,
start
1
an
Lieutenant
army.
type,
Or to
10
bolster an army if you've already
Hearthguard
got one.
warriors,
This one really
Hearthkin
focuses on
warriors,
those sort of
and then
kin
3 heavy
bands that
weapon
make up
guys.
the mainstay of the push.
Okay.
Warriors in the background,
That's
the
not too bad.
Guard in the middle. So it's just one.
Yeah, none of the new
to
models. Of
bulk
course
out
not.
force.
Of course
Yeah,
not.
there's some really useful units in there as well. Like you don't
Which,
tend
if
to
we get a
see League of
Deathwatch combat
Votann
patrol
army
and it has
that
no
doesn't
new
have all
models
of
in,
those
but
units.
has
there's no
some
wastage
Deathwatch
there.
models in,
It's all good
I am
stuff.
okay
A
with
couple
that.
of boxes of these and then a couple of the new units, and you've got an army
You're
basically.
away. Yeah, absolutely so.
I'll make a
Now,
note.
on to, for many people's opinion, I expect the main event of this release. This is Bury Agneson. Eddie?
All right, so
Bury
this is a special
Agneson is
character.
the
So they've got
last
another
survivor
leader.
of a Leagues of Votann clan, which has been consumed
Ah,
by
right.
the
So
encroaching
some of the
Tyranid
lore
menace.
from the
He
past,
is known as the
to explain
thrice
where
devoured.
the
Tyranid
Votann
monster had
disappeared
actually
to, or
eaten
the
this guy,
squads,
but that wasn't
was that
enough
the
to keep him
Tyranids
down.
came
He
up and
clawed
ate
his
them.
way out of
That's
his
what
gullet,
Highfleet Leviathan did.
climbed
So
his
that's
way
why they're not
back
around
out to
anymore.
safety
So he's
3
wearing a
times, apparently.
Tyranid
And
because
now goes across
his
the
clan
galaxy,
has been
across the,
eaten
the
by
Kin Warband
Tyranids. He's
as
one of
a
the
roving
clans that was destroyed by the
killing
Tyranids. But that
specialist.
wasn't all of them.
absolutely.
They didn't get all of them.
In terms of specialist, he is an
Oh yeah, the
absolutely
artillery piece could be like the
elite
Dwarf
combat
Thud gun.
unit.
That would make sense.
He
So he's
equips
wearing a
with that Dark
Tyranid
Star Glaive
as a
that you see there,
hat.
which is called Bane. He's pure violence in
That is a nice paint
I
job on
think
the
you're gonna
spear.
get a
Yeah,
lot
the
of this
purple.
guy
That's a
in
good purple.
armies
It
because his
blends in
rules
with the
are very
cloak
good. He
and
is,
the Tyranid itself.
got a great combat stat line, but he's also a lone operative. So you can imagine this guy advancing.
Chief Stealer Votann. They have ways of like cloning out any of the Gene Stealer cult stuff because the Votann are asexual. They reproduce by just cloning themselves. If they want a child, they go into the cloning machine. That's kind of how it works. And they'll modify the DNA to be like, I want my child to grow up to be a miner. Therefore, they will alter their own DNA to be like that. So no sex for dwarves, which is a weird line to say in any other context.
He's got
he's a little bit robot.
Sort of belt buckle, which very
so
much
he's like half of his hand is robotic.
That's
nice.
The Tyranids. He's got what looks like we've been having quite a discussion about this, a Tyranid Prime, sort of cadaver.
I think it's a Tyranid Prime that he's got over the top of his head. Yeah. There's a nice little nod in this model as well.
Could be a Warrior Prime.
There's like the idea at some
or
point
Tyranid
that
Warrior generally.
The squats were eaten by the Tyranids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this guy kind of goes,
well, female dwarves have beards,
but also
no, female dwarves do not have beards.
There is a little bit of truth to that.
No, wait. In 40k, the female dwarves do not have beards. In Warhammer Fantasy, they do have beards.
With Codex, Leagues of Votann, and all new.
Because I'm pretty sure it was in like a recent White Dwarf. Yeah, dwarf women have beards. There was a whole thing of like a guy seeing his wife and their child, and the wife's had glistening golden beard. So dwarf women in Warhammer Fantasy have beards. The women dwarves in 40k do not. So Leagues of Votann, you can choose to grow a beard or not. It's entirely up to you. In Lord of the Rings, they do.
And it works in the way
well,
that,
yes. No, wait. Dwarves don't have beards.
Acquisition,
it's the beards. Do you not remember the Lord of the Rings films?
When you haven't got very many yield points.
Oh, the Tolkien dwarves do?
For attacking enemy
okay, maybe the films and the books are different when it came to Lord of the Rings.
And then later on, once you've acquired yield points, you get bonuses for having your
little
own
guy on
and they get better at defending them, better bonuses for their own defense, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it sort of encourages you to play in that very sort of acquisition-focused way that the Leagues of Votann work.
And it's a really great mechanic, right? Because it's exactly how you win games of Warhammer 40,000. Early on, you kick people off objectives. Later on, you hold on to the objectives. So
and some of the
sounds like they're doing a lot of sticky objective stuff for
Votann. Exist in the Votann army now have rules that key into that. For example, the Memnir Strategist just lets you increase or decrease your yield score by 1 each turn.
Yeah.
So really sort of thoughtfully put in so that this guy who's overseeing the total sort of tactical function of your army can just go nudge and help you out.
Yeah.
We should show some of the models.
King can
so we've got some in front of us. We're very lucky
with
to be
the
allowed to put our
sex if they want.
Heavy metal miniatures.
Okay.
So
okay.
There'll be a bit of sort of scale
and that's how you get squads.
Here, but here you can see this is the Arcanist, and then you've got the Memnir. They're like normal Votann sized. So any kid.
Only wolf discrimination here. Look, have a beard or not, it's entirely up to you.
Just how sort of much bigger.
Right, yeah, they're a bit bigger. That's fine. Now show us like next to a Space Marine or a Primarch, just for
yeah, they're about the same size as a Wraith Guard. It's kind of in that ballpark of kind of medium heavy infantry. This is the new
medium heavy infantry are the best of infantry.
As big as something like an Imperial Guard tank or something like that, but compact, mobile, that sort of thing, fitting in.
Just want a fighty robot army that's not Necrons. There is Admech. You can have the Castellan robots in that.
Evolved it into a weapon.
You can definitely see sort of some of those origins.
It's an artillery piece. It's like the third gun. It's going to be too many points to use in current 40k.
You've got this sort of,
yeah, okay, Legions of Votann. Yeah, Leagues of Votann in Legions Imperialis would not appear. It would just be a flat base.
You get spare shells to put on their own bases.
Firstborn Marines of the new Votann. I don't know.
Really
I don't know.
Design and very exciting kit.
Admech are way too expensive. We agree. We absolutely agree on that.
Means the end of it.
Absolutely. We've got the Capricus here. So just make some space.
Show us the little vehicle.
So this is your new.
That's going to be a £40 kit.
This is the Defender pattern, which is the
that almost looks like it's on like a biker base rather than on the same base as like the Ridge Runner. It'll be the same base size as the Gene Stealer Ridge Runner.
On this is actually
he's got like a tiny little chair.
It's quite small, yeah, because
it is
fit a full-sized.
Kind of adorable.
There, so they've given them a little.
So they have another small transport, which transports 5 models by splitting a squad. So it's Sagittor 2, but open topped.
Devoured there. So it's still kind of kin-sized, but you can have a look on this model here that so much.
Is it a mortar that shoots into the air or shoots drills into the ground? I don't know, but it's going to be indirect fire.
So many times that like his arm, bits of his arms, most of his face, perhaps. a kind of unspecified amount of his body has probably been dissolved by horrible tyrannid bioacid in their stomach and things, but he's still kicking. And it also shows how durable.
Yeah, he's on a
the kin
rock,
are,
so
right?
he's got to be slightly taller. Maybe he comes up to like the chest of a space marine if you include his tyrannid hat.
He's a good example of how that's kind of manifesting.
Yeah, that's really cool, isn't it?
Shoots drills into the ground.
I
Yeah,
think
that would
we've
make
covered
sense.
the league
Just to be
pretty thoroughly,
different.
right?
Yeah.
Before we
Yeah, the barrel's
move
pointed
on,
at the ground
we're
with
gonna go to the, old
the
world
drill
next.
tip.
A
That makes
couple of
sense. That
sort
makes
of
sense.
Housekeeping bits.
Still
The first
indirect
one would
fire
be,
kind of
we're
mortar.
gonna return to the 40,000
Whether you shoot into the air or shoot under the ground,
so,
it's the same result.
Particularly if you like kill team, but also there's some other things for other factions as well. Do hang around if you like Warhammer 40,000. The other thing I would say
It just makes more sense to send it into the air because then it naturally comes back down as long as there is gravity where you're fighting.
You can interact with our social teams. We have sort of
The Sagimulator. Yeah, I can see that.
Social media places. Here they are. If you want to,
I'm here for the tall dwarves. Oh no!
Language which suits you. Go knock yourself out.
Yeah, the mole mortars generally. I don't know if they were like in first or second edition.
That you get to hear about Warhammer.
But they had like thud guns.
So. And if you speak English or you're willing to take a pot
I
shot
don't
at it,
think there
these are our
needed to
socials
be
as well,
two
so,
transports
enjoy the
that transport a
conversation.
half squad because they already had their
Time
sort of
for a little
immolator.
bit of Warhammer the Old World.
Yeah, let's do it.
So
Thud gun is like
first
a
up, we have
4-shot
brand new
cannon.
units
Something very
for
similar
the Tomb
is
King's
what you
Temple.
get in
This is
the
a
new
multi-part
Death Guard
plastic
Creek,
kit,
which is also something they
for
had in the
Heralds.
past
The
through
easiest
Forge
way to
World.
describe these
So
is
we
to
have
battle
two
standard bearer,
new
as
models
you
for
have a
Warhammer. There's no
new
like
hero
little trailer.
slash
There's no
lord. You
like,
could make
hey,
that
we
and
have
call
something
it a
cool.
Tomb Prince or a Tomb
Want to
King.
show you
It's up
like
to you.
hush hush, like ooh, it's coming out.
You get
Battle
the
Standard Bearer
which you can
and
put on either
Prince
thing,
or
so if you fancy
King,
a
Tomb
faster moving
King.
Battle Standard, stick it on
Tomb
the horse
King,
guard.
Royal
If you
Heralds.
fancy him, like standing around in one of your big regiments of Skeleton Warriors or Tomb Guard.
Yeah,
then,
so it's maybe like the two transports are maybe like the Space Marines.
Well.
They have a Razorback
Battle Standard
and they
Bearers
have an
are key to
Impulsor.
Warhammer
Maybe
armies,
they will
so they're
already
played
be saying,
well.
okay, there's enough
Yeah,
models
I
in the
love this Battle
Votann
Standard,
range that we
kind
can
of
cut off
weird
half of them.
Scorpion, both the paint scheme
And say half of
the
them go in
models are
one
very cool.
slot,
As you
half
say,
of them go in
this
the
is
other.
multi-part as well, so
But I
you've
think
got
it'll
the
just
things
be
you want the
you
faster
split
one,
your
you've
squad
got
of
the
10
chariots or
Hearthguard.
something in your army.
Yeah,
Your regular guys.
I would
and they
imagine
can
there's a
do
fair bit of
half and half in
customizability
each.
between this kit and some of the other Tomb Kingy bits as well.
Yes, yeah,
So-
not just within this kit itself, but
It's
also
an okay hat.
things like the Tomb.
It's an okay
Tomb
banner.
Guard, for example. So
It's not
this
as good
isn't
as the
only
Lizard Man banner. I
kit
think that was
coming
better.
for the Tomb King's
I see we
Temple.
have the
You
old
also have
skulls
Leech
from the like the
Priests,
old
who are
multi
fundamental to the
nation
workings, literally,
banner
of the Tomb King.
Yeah,
Bear
you
and Command
absolutely
Squad
need Lich
kit
Priests in your
because there
army
used
if
to
you've
be a
got
Warhammer
Tomb
Fantasy
King's
Command
army. Your
Squad
army
kit
only
for the
woke up
skeletons, the
because you had Lich
goblins,
Priests.
and
It's their job
Skaven.
to kind of keep the
And it
magic going
had
that
those
keeps your army
skulls that were
marching
dangling
forward.
that had
Again,
like
this is a
the leather
multi-part
holding
kit
them
with
up by the
some
eye
lovely options
slots.
on these. You can see they're perhaps a little bit less dead than some of the other Kenway,
Yeah,
but they're still very
Austin.
definitely
Skinny
Sipping
hanging out.
coffee,
desiccated.
ordering
Definitely
coffee.
spent far
Thank
too
you
long
for
in
the
desert
3
instead of
monies,
doing it
Austin.
somewhere. I love the
If anyone else wants to
to
tip money and have it pop
Yeah,
up, there's a
absolutely.
link in the description to
So
Kofi.
thanks, for
It's
bringing
like
that back.
the top
it's a really
link.
lovely image of these
So
sort
you
of
can send
animated,
monies to me there.
creatures
Tip money is
that
always
sort of come
appreciated.
alive
Yeah.
through the magic of the ritual.
Ooh,
I
Lich
think you were saying
Priests.
as well that looks like it's right out of a piece of Warhammer art. doesn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
That looks
the mounted
nice.
guy in
You got
particular,
one
I
with
think, they're both
scales, who's kind of
exquisite,
bald
but
looking,
the mounted guy
with
from sort of the perfect
that,
angle, he just looks like
one of the
artwork,
carrion birds
and
on top
I mean, that is the
of the
highest
staff.
possible
Yeah,
compliment.
that looks pretty good.
And
And then we've got Tall Hat Man. Tall hats are going to be a theme today. Maybe this is the guy that's like the tall hat and it's not Chaos Dwarves.
A little bit more about that in a moment. But yes, you can have a barded.
But yeah, there's a tall hat and the scroll that's unfurling. They're doing pretty good with their floating stuff. I can get behind that.
I guess we can talk about that now. If we go across to also coming out is a new arcane journal, The War of Cetra's Fury. Cetra, the imperishable, is very, very angry. His
So that's
lands
when
have been
Cetra invaded the
defiled. He
Border
feels like he
Princes, I
owns
assume?
Everything, and he is launching a full-scale invasion northward.
No, like the Skeleton Warriors
into the
themselves.
sort of
No,
border region
we need
between
that
the Empire and
old,
Britannia,
like,
sort of known as the Vaults.
2003 kit that they're using for the
also
Tomb Kings.
inhabited
Because there have been
by,
2 new Vampire
some
Count
dwarves,
skeleton kits
you've
since
got
then.
dispossessed
One of which
barons
was
and
for Age of
nobles from
Sigmar, I
both
know,
the
but
Empire
still,
and
Vampire
Britannia. And
Counts.
so they are forced to rally in defence of a
Don't think it'll be a
full-scale
dedicated
invasion
transport.
of
Might
the
not be.
undead from
But
Khemri.
it can
There are
split
rules
models,
for
units either way.
allied forces, playing smaller games.
Martuk,
in like a timely
thank you
and
very
fashion.
much.
It's just packed, and it's
Aw.
a really cool way.
I will do more good
to get
videos
the
for you all.
lore of the old world and how they're sort of explaining.
We'll
the
see.
things that
I
took
don't
place
know,
in
maybe I'll like
part
go
of the
quiet for a
Warhammer
bit this
timeline.
coming week and
Great
then
to
have a
new
big
lore
video
for
come
the
out.
old world as well, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe.
absolutely.
We'll see what
The
happens.
team
Depends what I
diving
can
into
manage.
the opportunities that
Hoping for a
the
Catan
world allows.
Deceiver
And you see
rumor
what
is
I mean
true.
about the artwork, right? Sort of the guy in the
Well, the
centre, like,
Necrons
just
are like like 2 Catan models down in terms of we're using old metal ones on 40mm bases compared to the very similar profiled stuff of the others.
In the old world, known as the old
Yeah.
world. This is Dawn of the
I hope they
Storm
make
Dragon,
Manfred
and it
for Old
features,
World.
A bold strategic move made by
Manfred
Miao
von
Ying, who's
Karstein.
the,
I never liked
legend
Manfred. No one
Centaur.
likes Manfred after
She's,
what happened
one of
when the
children
old
of
world
the
went
Dragon
down.
Emperor, and she learns.
Oh,
of
Dawn of the
Chaos
Storm
Invasion,
Dragon.
which
So
is happening
that's
in the north,
Cathay.
and
Very
it's
nice.
concerned that it's going to gain too much traction. So
No, what I want is a
loads
Vlad and
ships
Isabella
full
model
of,
that's like
Grand
a
Cathayan
couple model,
soldiers
so they're holding
and
hands
sails to
or
the
hugging
Empire,
one
sets up an
another.
enclave,
That'd be
and helps
great.
to try and stymie this Chaos
Manfred
Invasion.
did lots of things
in real
wrong.
terms, that's
Manfred
A,
is
a cool
horrible.
story, and B, there's a,
Manfred was like,
there for
oh,
all sorts
wait,
of
so I'm
things,
not as good as my
including,
dad? And Nagash is like, you were
cover
nothing
allied
compared
force
to your
of
dad.
Cathay and the
Vlad is the
That's
best.
exciting. That's exciting.
That is
We've
really
never had
cool,
anything
yeah.
like that before, really, have we? So
Yeah, so, and I think this is sort of...
Old World would have been better if they didn't change the law.
great
Yeah, I
example
agree.
of
I
the
agree.
sort of
I think
bold,
it was mean to
exciting
kill
things
off
that the
everything.
studio team responsible for the Old World are doing. They clearly love the setting. They want to explore it. In
Yeah,
really
should we
rich
both
and
Nightbringer and Deceiver? It would make sense to do one and the other.
absolutely.
Unless
So,
they're doing a weird thing like they did with the
we
Eldar
should
Phoenix
throw
Lords,
over
where they're like, we're going to
question
update them all.
and see if
Except
Simon
for
has got
you,
any,
Karandras.
what have you got for us,
You do
Simon?
not get the update.
Loads and loads of questions. I think the majority of them are focusing on the Leagues of Votann. There's loads of shiny new toys coming out there, of course. So
Yeah, most
the
people
first
are
one is
understandably talking
actually
about the Leagues of
about
Votann.
the
You're being a big thing for them.
judgment tokens. Are they still a thing?
In Vlad and Isabella, the only
Real
successfully
rule,
loving
double
romantic
judgment
couple. I think you're right. When I was reading the
focus in terms of
End
the
Times
army
books
mechanic is
for
the
Warhammer
real
Fantasy,
talked about before.
they were the only
It's always good to
relatable
get
characters. The
something like
undead were the only
granular
ones that actually had
like
motivations
granular
beyond,
rules things,
God, I
because
really
it's
hate the guy
like
next to me. I
minutes,
hope they
so
die.
roll through as much
There
as
was
you
some
can,
of
as
that.
fast as you can.
But also,
We'll cover way more detail about Votann rules and mechanics and all those things as we lead towards it.
all right, so they'll tell us the rules for Votann later on. Fair enough. I'm sure it'll
Another
leak
one
at some
was,
point. A small
funky
leak.
drill shell
Little
tokens on the
leak.
Chthonian Earthshaker. What do they represent?
So I do have a really short and candid
Karandras
answer
isn't
for
so
that.
much on a
You saw
bus,
them
he's just
on
had to
the
get a
right
taxi
side,
following
the
behind. And now his rules are
designed
free
for you to
and
access
available
those.
on the Warhammer Community
And
website. Which
if
I guess they
remember
already were
correctly,
because they were
and
previously
don't,
in
like,
the
sue me on the
index, which was
internet if
also
I get it
free on the
wrong.
Warhammer Community
You
website.
put them down
So
alongside
he's there.
the Earthshaker when you
In
deploy,
Legends.
and you can remove
You can use
one
him.
from the game to give yourself.
I don't
two
see why
rolls,
not.
two rolls as you're playing. So yeah, kind of fun. It's like it represents something, and you take it off.
Kazgul and
Yeah, so
Yarick are not the same
unit is sort of
romance.
set up so that they have some
Celestine and
specialist shells,
Greyfax.
so that
Now
we
that's a
represent
romance
the
we
unit
need to
being
see
like,
going
we're gonna use one of
places.
the big ones now. This is the important shot.
Perfect.
His Games Workshop rethinking leaks as the
probably
Horus
have one more,
Heresy
so let's
leak
go with
thing
how
kind
many
of tanked their
models can
pre-orders.
the Capitals carry at Transpac?
Maybe they will.
It carries
I think they just want to get
five,
ahead of
so
the
it
leaks.
works
It's
a
something
little
they've
bit like
done
some of the
before
other
where
Leagues of Votann
they call it
transports,
like
where
potato
you take
cam,
a unit
where
of
there will be a
musical
leak
tens,
online,
you split the
and
unit in
then a
half,
few days
so
afterwards, or maybe
five
the
of them
next
can go in
day,
that.
they'll be
If
like,
you've got two
okay, now
transports,
here's
you
the
can carry
actual
both
models.
units,
Because they
round in
did that
those,
for
or you can leave
Angron,
five of them back
his
on
model
your
got
baseline
leaked, and
go
then
elsewhere.
we had,
Thank you.
well,
So,
here's the real
we'll
model.
draw a curtain on,
Which I know
the
from
old world,
internal
but we will
sources
go
had the
to
people
mortal
just
realms
complaining
instead.
the whole time,
There's
being
some
like,
exciting things,
why
for
did
us to
someone
talk
leak
about here.
this? Now we have
Let's
to do a
start
whole
with
photo
a new
shoot
battle
in like
tome
6 hours,
for
and it
Death,
normally takes
the
12
Death
hours
Grand
just
Alliance.
to get the angles right, the
These
lighting
are
right, the
fleshy
photograph
courts.
right, make
Many
sure there's
people will be
nothing
familiar
missing
with
from the
them.
model,
These are
double
the,
check with everyone that this is what we
like
want and it's going to
foul
be
and
perfect.
abominable,
Ooh, Fleshy Decod's
cannibal
book.
monstrosities who unfortunately have delusions.
Yeah, Dante
quite
was leaked
literally,
as well.
of,
That was because they
being
sent out
noble,
the Dante model, the new Dante model,
elegant
to
and
someone
chivalric,
accidentally,
and,
and so they were able to
couldn't
paint
be
it off
further from
and
that.
show it
Yeah,
off.
they absolutely
And they were
imagine
like,
that
hey,
they
this
are
is
in
what the new
service of
Dante
some
model
grand
looks
king,
like.
or perhaps a
Confirmed,
grand
I
crusade
know,
of some sort,
because
or
I
part
painted
of a
it.
pageant or a noble feast of some sort. But
Tyranid face and Space Marine Chainsaw. Good pair.
The new
I like
Battle Tome
combat
has all the
knives.
stuff that you
Combat knives are
expect.
okay.
Lots of new ways
But yeah,
to use
chainswords are cool.
your army, new magic abilities, new
The
enhancements,
Bretonnians.
changes to some of the way the war scrolls work. So lots of exciting stuff. And perhaps most excitingly, there is a new miniature.
I haven't been able
on
to
the way
get too much
accompany them,
into
which is
Age
the
of Sigmar
Hive Falconer Felgrin. So
fourth
much
edition.
like the rest of the Fleshy
That
Decor,
is
this
a
guy
cool
under an
person
illusion.
with a witch
His
hat.
particular delusion
Another
is that
big
he
hat?
is, a
Oh
falconer
no, it's a bat
in
hat.
charge of noble and wise
That's cool.
avian creatures.
The
where,
High
in fact,
Falconer.
He is in charge of a swarm of rabid
I like it.
bats.
But
in
can you
the
have
model is very
bats
characterful
in the
that
Flesh
he's
Eater
got his
courts?
kind of weird
Because
crazy
they're
hats, he's
currently
got these
a
kind of
Soulblight
Almost
Gravelord
like the
thing.
vestiges of that nobility that you were just
Like
referring
the
to, right?
vampire
It's like a
counts
very
have
sort of like
that, not
huntsman-y
the
style
ghouls.
hat on
Yep.
and the tattered
But they
robes
should
of a person that
be
might
able to, like,
performing
share
that
them.
duty,
I don't
but
see
you've got
why
sort of
not.
guts hanging off
It's
the
a
trees
very
quite
fun.
well.
It's a very fun miniature. I think in the spinning shot, maybe you can just picture it. But there is the spinning shot, maybe you can just picture it, but there is a bat that comes with him, which is basically a token.
Spearhead is fun for Age of Sigmar. Yes, I recommend that. I hope that Combat Patrol is as good as Spearhead in next edition of 40k.
These are the kind of spies, the eyes and ears of the Flesh Eater Courts. And if he
what hat currently matches that reveal? I don't know.
Give your squires, your kind of ghouls, bonuses against that enemy unit.
Unless they're going to have like hey, there's a Flesh Eater Courts Jester, and at that point it would kill off all the Harlequin hype.
Nice. There's also accompanying this release for.
I mean, I hope there's more stuff for 40k, and they're just like cycling through them.
Use it straight in games of Spearhead,
Like,
Or
okay,
you
we've
can
done
use this to bulk out, or maybe
a
add
40k thing. So now
features to
here's an
bulk
old
out
world thing.
your,
Now here's an Age of Sigmar
existing
thing.
fleshy
And we'll just keep
armor.
going around.
This is a fast-moving, hard-hitting, infantry-focused.
The Pharaoh
spearhead.
hat for the Tomb
It's
Lords,
got
Tomb
models
Kings.
you'll be
Yeah,
very
that would
familiar
make
with,
sense rather
and
than
the way that
anything
they
Zinchian.
synergize within this game.
Imagine if that was all
is
for
really
40k.
cool.
It would be a
Expect
very
sort of
small
sliding assaults
reveal,
and then using
for sure.
monstrous size infantry to sweep the enemy away.
Yeah. Also
More
a great
40k
start to
later.
a
Okay,
larger
good.
Age
Yeah.
of
I am
Sigmar
listening to
army.
what they're
Fleshy
saying. I'm
Courts,
just not listening
it
to
combos
all
really
of the words
nicely
they're
with
saying.
the existing Fleshy to Courts spearhead. So if
Yeah.
you've got that already, you can add this in, and you've basically got most of an army. Yeah, some really good stuff.
Which
couple
hat
of the
matched the
cannibal monkeys
Votann
in there as
reveal?
well.
I don't know.
It's what everybody
Always a
needs,
winner.
right?
I didn't take pictures of all the hats.
There's another.
I just saw the
battle
Deathwatch
tome
hat.
for the sort of
Yeah, there's a
death
pirate
faction,
hat.
which is,
We
Nighthaunt,
had the
who
Pharaoh
have
hat.
Battle tome Nighthaunt. They're a very popular.
Oh,
iconic
okay.
faction
I thought the
within,
Nighthaunt was already out.
The Mortal Realms. They sort of had their place within the second
All
edition.
right,
of
okay. I thought
Warhammer Age
they'd
of
already
Sigmar,
done a
and really
Nighthaunt
sort
for
of
Age of
cemented
Sigmar Edition
their
4.
spot as sort of beloved. This book is like ram-packed with the lore that explains them all, as well as all of the war scrolls and information that you would need. I was talking to an avid Nighthaunt player about this yesterday.
Two pirate
who
hats,
was
okay.
super excited.
And a
because
tall
he's
and a short
sort of
top
in
hat.
the
So
know
I'd
enough to
hope
know, for
Chaos
example,
Dwarves,
that
but
their,
for
war
Old
saves are
World,
improving
we've had the Tomb
across the
Kings thing.
board,
We've also
and so
had,
he's
hey,
very
we're getting your
excited to
Cathay
try
book.
those in games.
Yeah, there's some significant defensive buffs for the Nighthaunt, certainly, with this battle
They're
tome.
showing the new
Generally
terrain,
speaking, you're finding
which
that
also
the
builds
units have
the
a
ones
bit more health.
vampires.
The way that their immunity
Good.
to rend works has changed a little bit. So generally, their normal saves are a little bit worse, but you can now bolster them with things like all-out defense. And their
I
ward
hate
saves
all-out
are across
defense
the
and
board
all-out attack,
are 5
especially
or
all-out
better,
defense.
which is pretty
Like,
solid.
hey,
Yeah,
you just have
perfect.
+1 to your save. It's not like the
But let's
benefit
get
of
on to
cover,
the,
where it
model,
caps
which is
somehow,
brand new,
or it
coming out
removes
this
a
week,
-1.
which is the
It's
Lord
just
Vitriolic.
+1 to
This
your
is a
save.
very
If you had a
disturbing
3+ save,
creature.
you now have a
In
2+
life,
save.
It was something
Against
like
shooting or in
a
combat.
poisoner,
And it's
or a
such a pain.
maker of,
Snake oil
like,
merchant
yeah,
of some
fake
sorts,
potions
yeah.
and curatives who deceives people.
Potions
and
man.
sort of,
Okay.
let them down, or,
I mean,
or led them
Nighthaunt
to
doesn't
ruin.
really need
And
more
Nagash is
characters,
able
and all
to
of them at
claim
this
his
point are
soul because of
looking
his sort of
kind of.
malpractices, evil deeds.
It's some ghosts. There's not much more you can do than
Reformed him
it's a
into this
slightly
cruel
different
big,
guy that's a
Lord
ghost.
Vitriolic with, like,
We've had
backward
prisoner
jointed
ghosts, we've
arms on
had
top of
traitor
his
ghosts,
spine.
we've
He's,
had
horrible,
ladies that are
but
just really nice
fun
nurses,
in the
but
game.
ghosts
Yeah, so
and
he's got
evil.
some
We've had
very,
people that
funny
drowned or
rules.
were
So
set on
basically you
fire
can
or had
see
violent
his rack of
deaths
potions
carrying
on his
swords,
back there.
and they're ghosts.
And the way that manifests in games is you can create
Arm
specific
assist,
potions and
yeah.
load them into enemy units. And you've got 2 options on how you do that. You can
They might
either
do
just
Kill Team next,
chuck
they
a
might
bunch of random
do
potions at the
Black
enemy and roll
Library
some
next,
random things to see what
and
happens
show
to
off some
them,
books.
Or you can concoct a very specific potion to do a specific job. And the effects of those can range from things like doing harm to the enemy unit, taking away some of their advantages. all the way
Primaris
through to
Ghost. I don't know
triple
about
saves
that.
from enemy units.
Yeah,
So,
that one looks
it's a
particularly appealing.
really good little problem solving.
Yeah, they do look like
unit,
Dark
so you can
Souls
go,
characters.
Right, what enemy am I
Or
facing?
like maybe mini
What I'd really
bosses,
like
I don't
is
know.
this, is this specific bonus or this specific debuff?
We also do
to the
have
enemy unit, or just to do
just
damage.
some
So I
generic
think,
ghosts. That's a spirit
we're gonna see a lot
host.
of this guy
That is
in
all they
Nighthaunt.
really needed to be,
Absolutely.
because that's what they were in
And
Warhammer
as
Fantasy.
with the Fleshy to
And
Corpse,
there's no
there is
reason
a
you should need to take
spearhead
that,
for the Nighthaunt.
grab the Black
This is
Coach, and say,
Chaos
okay, these are a
Shackle Horde.
faction now. They're not a
It's
faction.
just all the
That's
ghosts
2
all the time,
models.
right?
You can't
An
make a
absolutely
faction out of
brilliant
that. And then they're
box,
like, no, it's going to be our main faction for the second edition.
Either kickstart
100
an army,
ghosts.
reinforce an
Look at all the
army,
ghosts.
or play games of Spearhead.
Yeah, it's very cool, and obviously a great place to start.
Right,
a
so
new
you've got guys on
game.
horses.
Yeah, absolutely. Those things were cool.
They're cool.
But there's
You
a
can
lot
like
of
them.
people
I
here
have no
who
problem with
have been
people
holding
liking
onto
them.
their hats really patiently.
They're easy to paint.
hoping
That is
we
something
may
I'll
be,
say for them, because you need
show
like
them
2
something
colours,
they've
or 1
never,
colour if
ever
you want.
seen before.
That would certainly be cool.
Oh, why don't
Yeah,
we
variety,
start
more
with
variety
this?
than Fire Slayers, which was, hey, we'll take our character. Abe Lincoln hat. Come on, there's more people wear top hats than Abraham Lincoln. Is it Chaos Dwarves? Show us the Chaos Dwarves. Ah, praise Hasut. Chaos Dwarves. Armoured hats. They need to be soft, squishy hats. Now there's an artillery cannon. A bull Gorkanaut.
What an incredible reveal, Eddie! I know you're super
It's
excited.
another
I
small
am very
reveal.
excited. This might be my new Age of
Okay,
Sigmar.
tell me about the
These
Chaos
are
Dwarfs.
The Hellsmiths of Hashut. These are effectively the reincarnation of the Chaos Dwarf concept for Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Oh, so it's
entirely
Age of
redesigned and
Sigmar.
brand new.
There's not
army,
going to be Chaos Dwarves
coming
for
out
Old
first
World.
in an army set,
Oh,
arriving alongside
right.
its new battle tome. The army set also serves as the spearhead.
So you get what I assume are 10 basic guys.
These models are phenomenally cool.
You get
the rules are great.
let's
the
call
lore
it a
is great.
golem
I
with
love absolutely
cannons.
everything about them. Let's dive into the miniatures.
No
Everything.
actual bulls
First thing I want to
or
say
centaurs.
is let's talk about like why they are these. When the time of chaos happened in the mortal realms, the Duardin, they retreated. They survived.
Dwarves
in
hide in
their
holes.
Or they took to the skies or whatever.
Dwarves fly away.
Well, not these guys.
But not
these
so
guys.
the Zardron, the
Zardron.
Chaos Duardin,
Interesting
who would become
name.
known as the Hellsmiths of Hashut. They instead turned to Hashut, an ancient and terrible Duardin deity who taught them.
So it's
the
not a
ways of
chaos god.
hellsmithing. So, and their whole culture.
He is like the god of industry. Think of him as like
the
Vashtor,
Bullfather.
but in
And
fantasy.
we're going to see that sort of writ large across all of these models. Let's dive into the first thing that appears in this new army set. These are the Infernal Cohort with Hashutite spears. Say that fast if you can. They are the
3, 6,
core
8,
unit for the Hellsmiths of Hashut.
9 models.
They are an elite combat unit straight off the bat.
Is that a
These are
hobgoblin in
very
the top
dangerous
right?
to
That looks
do.
like it could be a hobgoblin.
And the first
Little
thing to
hobgoblin
observe
man.
is those Hashutite spears. Each of them has got like a glowing orb in it. That contains imprisoned, ground down, reconstituted demon essence, because that's how they roll.
So the demon
They have
legions
crushed
that
demons.
invaded the various
Interesting.
Duardin holds during the Age of Chaos. Some of them,
Yeah, it definitely is a
took over the
hobgoblin.
holds, but where the
Must be a hobgoblin.
Hellsmiths of Hashut dwelled, they instead trapped those demon legions and decided to weaponize them into a fuel to power their war machines, their weapons, and their technology.
Got a half-naked
green
dude,
glow,
got
as you
a
say, is
person
ground
with
up
a
demon juice
banner.
that is powering the weapons of the Hellsmiths.
Yeah,
Demon
so
juice
cool.
spears,
Things
good
to
to
talk about
know.
with this unit. Obviously, you've got like a unit.
So you got 5 with basic spears, a banner,
You've got a musician,
champion.
which is like this weird combination of the bare-chested Duardin.
All right, so the
and a
guy with
hobgoblin carrying a massive
the big
gong on
hammer
top,
is a
obviously
musician?
a standard bearer. It's a two-for kit. That's like internalism for this kit makes 2 different types of unit.
All right, it's a 2-for-1 kit.
Hashutite blades, basically shorter ways of killing people. They have different.
And then you have a tiny
profiles
sword
in the
version.
game.
Right.
Yeah, both very useful. The spears generally are your slightly more defensive things, so you get bonuses against enemy that's charging you, against cavalry.
Okay, so one will
Swords are a
be
slightly
what,
more offensive
anti-cavalry
option, where you get bonuses for
plus
fighting
1 or
into
something?
enemy infantry and taking the fight to the enemy. But both effectively
Yeah.
heavily armored elite infantry.
They do have big
absolutely
hats.
So. And you can
They
paint
do
them
come in a
different
variety of
The studio's
colours.
done a lovely job. The banner in the
I
middle,
think a
this
lot
is
of
really
people were
interesting one
hoping
too,
to
sort of
get
the
these
Zardron culture,
for
which is
Old World,
it's a
though.
ziggurat in the middle of that banner, right, with the bullfather.
Age of Sigmar has 4 dwarf factions now? It does
They live
indeed.
in ziggurats,
Yeah.
and each one is
Yeah.
ruled by a war despot. As if by magic, here is the war despot.
So I wonder if they'll
Well,
actually
the
be
whole thing.
considered
This is
chaos. I
my
can't see
favourite
these being
model
part of
within
order.
this,
Surely they
Sorry,
must be
hat.
part of the
It
chaos
might be
faction.
my favourite of the Hellsmiths.
I mean, they're putting
it's just
demons
so
into
good.
bottles and then
Huge
using them
hat,
as
great big
weapons.
spikes. He's carrying an enormous
I do like the
war
teal
blade,
colour
which
scheme.
is
It's a good teal
glowing,
colour
some
scheme.
runes at the top.
And I also
glowing
think the
with
hat
this
should be
sort of,
bigger
eldritch
and
power.
softer and have
The war
spikes.
despots, they have to rule through a mixture of sort of.
So the war
violence
despot will be the
and
one
also through
character.
just
Maybe it'll be an
ensuring that everybody
expansion
around
for a
them knows that
faction
they are the
because that
nastiest,
is
toughest
4
of all of
units.
the,
Basic
Hellsmiths, so
infantry
they are
character,
prominent figures.
the war golem,
Like any
bull,
Duardin, they
and the
couldn't
mortar.
demand the loyalty of their followers. unless they
Vashtor
were
is Hashut
able
without
to,
a fancy hat.
Lead from
I
the
agree.
front, basically. So
He needs
they're
a
not-
hat.
They're not cowardly, but they certainly.
Any chances of a sisters reveal? It's unlikely
diabolical
that there's going to be
schemers sort
anything
of thing,
sisters
so they will
related.
lead their
And we've already had a
armies,
kill
into
team for
battle
the sisters this
proudly,
edition.
but certainly not go for
It just didn't have any
The whole
sisters in
reason
it.
for being as an entire culture is
Maybe
it's
destruction.
just
Could be
like
destruction. Yeah,
weaponized
yeah,
greed.
could go into destruction.
They plunder and take from the land, and they give nothing.
If they're
back. They
stealing
don't
and
want it, they
mining,
destroy it. They are,
and
like,
they do have
cruel
orcs in
the
there.
extreme, because
Whole
that's
thing with
how
like
they
the hobgoblins.
survived the time of chaos.
That's if they're doing full proper
they
chaos
don't see themselves
dwarves.
as corrupted through that. That's,
With
they're
slavery.
There's no physical side effects at all.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
what they've
Yeah, I
done.
mean the
An
chaos
interesting
dwarves
subpoint, they
were
see
with
themselves
chaos,
as
but
almost the
these
paragons
are,
of
of
purest
course,
order, right?
they're saying like
They've taken
Hashut
the assault of
is
chaos and they've
not a
ground it down
chaos
and
deity
created,
or even a
like,
wannabe
order
chaos
from
deity. He's an
chaos.
old dwarven
But
deity.
in the mortal realms, they effectively they're paving over the natural order.
They're not
going
gonna
to
be death. That's what we know. They're not death.
Hashut and the great ziggurats that power their industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Also,
So we
within
have
this
flying
spearhead,
dwarves with
is
steampunk,
just
we have Naked Angry
incredible
Dwarves,
centerpiece
Chaos
models that
Dwarves,
dominate
and then there's
everything.
also Cities of Sigmar
It's another
Dwarves,
kit that makes
which I
two
believe
things.
are going to
So here you
get
can see the innovation
separated
cannons.
and put into
This
their
is
own
a
faction. So
enormous
these,
metal
the Hellsmiths of
creation, which is
Hashut,
animated
with the
and powered
combat
by this
bull
demon
or the
energy
gun
roiling
bull,
inside it. Have a look at
may
the
be in
sort of
this new
brazier
dwarf
in
book.
its belly. You can
So I
see
think
the
that might end up being
demonic eyes
Order.
peering out as,
That's weird,
the
but
demonic
maybe.
souls within a torch.
I love the
and
flames on
give
these
it its
things.
power.
That kind of like green into purple fire is such a beautiful sort of aesthetic. This is
It's
both
nice
an
with the
incredibly
green and
cool
black.
miniature, which I think
That's
I'm looking
nicely
forward to see
painted.
what painters do with this, because the heavy metal one is wonderful, but I think once this goes out into the wild and you've got
You're going to see incredible interpretation.
Yeah, 1,000 painters painting this. It's going to be amazing. I can imagine this in beautiful non-metallics.
Looks good.
In game, this thing is an absolute juggernaut, right? So it has a 2-up save, armor save. Which
Oh,
is
of course, there's a
almost
2-up save, and if you do
unheard of.
-1 AP, then
It
it'll
has
do all
loads
out
of wounds,
defense
it
to
hits
keep that
really
2-up
hard.
save.
The combat version can mulch entire units. The shooting
Yeah, Daughters of
version,
Cain are
you
also
want to
Order,
go
which is
wade
kind
into
of
the middle an
confusing.
enemy army and just set the whole thing on fire. Like a lot of the stuff in the Hellsmith's army, their kind of army mechanic allows you to harness a demon power on specific units, so you can bolster the power of it. And on these, it's particularly devastating.
So
Fantastic. And we're
pay
still not
demons,
done. Also
or
within
like shake the
Spearhead,
bottle and upset the
you'll
demon
find
inside
this.
to
This
make
is
the demon work more.
Tormentor Bombard. The Chaos Dwarfs of
Oh,
old,
yeah,
if you
1+
cast your
save.
mind back if you're old enough.
Okay,
like me,
that's a
to the world that was. The Chaos Dwarfs
Tormentor
were renowned
Bombard.
for devastating artillery, particularly that lobbed things far across the
Will
battlefield.
that
And
have
concept
out of line
been
of sight
reimagined for
firing?
Mortal Realms,
That's
just beautiful Tormentor Bombard.
not something we have in
Raw
Age
demonic
of
power hurled
Sigmar.
high into
Are there
the
any
air to
indirect
come
fire
crashing
weapons in
down
Age of
upon the enemy.
Sigmar?
It's deadly.
I don't
in
think
the
there
game.
are.
Yeah, this is the war machine you use if you're.
If you wanted like a Chaos Knight, then you could use the Bull Golem,
and the units nearby also take damage. That's how devastating this is. Very long range. I think it shoots
which they're
30
called
inches, which,
a
again is very good in Age of
Dominitor
Sigmar.
engine. All right.
think
I mean, we don't
the
know the actual
Hellsmiths have
scale.
shot
It's
between
dwarf,
this
so
and
it
the
could be
other
rather
units,
small.
have
But Dominitor
claimed
is
to
its
be one
official
of the
name.
Devastating shooting armies in the Mortal Realms.
Well, let's talk a bit more about that, because I think we have the Death Shrieker rocket battery. Brilliant for just like blowing up the enemy's big impressive thing.
And there's
Yeah,
an
so
alternate
this is a
build, the
monster
Death
killer,
Shrieker
right?
rocket
So where
battery.
your other
Right.
war machine is the thing to take out blocks of enemy
Yeah, you got your
infantry
little
and
slave
mass
goblins.
formations. This is your. They have one big monster that I want to be dead. You can fire this at them, and this with
Okay.
a fair, with decent rolls, will take out a monster in a single volley.
You're
which is
firing
pretty good.
essentially a demon.
I think if they're saying Chaos Dwarves, I'm willing to allow that it's
Dwarven,
Chaos.
Stood sort of head to toe. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, multiple on the kits can make different units, or rather, it's the
this
same
launch
kit,
set
and you can
also
swap out
includes
one
a
gun
battle
piece,
tome.
and then they have
It
separate
also
rules for the
includes all
different
war
units. So
scroll
you've got to
cards
buy
that
two.
you
Of course, you have to
would,
buy two.
Want to have
I don't
with
know if
your
the Doom
collection.
Dive is still in Age of Sigmar.
It's the perfect jumping on point.
Is that still in
for
Age of
an
Sigmar, the Doom Diver?
Hellsmith
Because I know it's in Warhammer Fantasy.
army.
The Perturabo is just a bad Chaos
But
Dwarf.
that's not it.
There's more.
Why don't we show you some more?
Oh, what's happening now? Is it just showing off the same stuff? Or are there more models? Alright, that was like their starter set. Here's a Doom Bull. That's a Doom Bull. Ah, Doom Divers, Doomspire Gits. Nice, that makes sense. Show me Centaurs. Or Dwarf Centaurs.
If the
Alright,
launch
more
box
models
wasn't
coming
awesome
soon.
enough, they will be
Right,
followed
so
shortly
they're getting
thereafter
a
with
single
all of
box
those
set
incredible
release, which
models that
has
you just
your 10
saw,
infantry with spears /
rounding out
swords,
the force
your 1
into a
leader,
really
your Dominator,
substantial and
your
impressive
artillery
Warhammer
piece,
Age of Sigmar.
and then there'll be 3 more
immediately
units
out
coming
the
out
gate,
later,
you
which is a
have
character on a big bull
almost
that you sort of see in the background.
Offer,
Your
basically, stuff. And,
Centaurs.
we start off with one of the classic units.
Bull
of
Centaurs,
Warhammer
yeah.
returning. Bull Centaurs have been part of Warhammer for I think almost 35
Yeah, this is a
years.
teaser, and then a teaser to say that we'll be teasing more later on.
Like 13 or
In their
14.
classic red
Teaser
with
for
green
more
bases back
teasing.
it was
Yes,
in the day.
magnetize. Always magnetize your model.
This
The
is
problem
a
then
heavy
obviously you can't have
cavalry
2
unit.
at once.
They
but yeah.
are basically the experts at riding down enemy forces and crushing them.
They ride down the
they
enemy,
Hit very
but
hard. They're very.
they are
they're
horses.
Well armored. These are.
Oh,
the
I'm
sort
sure
of
they have a 2+ save.
manifestation of the power of
No
Shut
doubt they'll have a
in-
2+
in
save.
kind of form. The Duardin here have kind of warped to be more alike to their.
Is
ancient
Old World and
ancestor god.
Horus Heresy going to have
absolutely.
dwarves? Old
You
World
said that
might.
to me earlier, I
Horus
thought it was
Heresy, I don't know. I think if we're
Hashut's
putting all
whole
the
thing is
Chaos
like
Dwarves
trampling the
into
mortal realms, and that's what they're
Warhammer
like. He's a,
Age of Sigmar,
the
they
Dwarven
won't do
gods
any more
sort of
dwarf
inherited
things
this
in
different realm,
Warhammer,
and he
Yeah, so
gets
the
stuck with
Old
them
World.
So there's
Because if I
loads of really
recall,
great
the
lore
Chaos
in the
Dwarves
battle
got a
code, but one of the things
legend
that
set
comes
of
out is the
rules,
idea that,
so they're not going to
they
update
were
them
the
this
ancestor
edition.
gods of the Dwarden, and Hashut was almost like one of them, right? He was like one of the pantheon, and he
The
he was given the
Lamassu.
realm of beasts, and he sort of felt that was almost like
Yeah,
an
they could
insult,
do a
right? Like, I
Lamassu,
don't
a
want
big
them on the
Lamassu
beast.
creature.
So rather than trying to kind
Which
of
is
be
another big
harmonious
bull.
with it, he
They
decided to
have
just
bulls as a
translate it.
theme in
So
case
all
you
of
couldn't
his
tell.
incarnation of
Bull centaurs are
beast
nice.
Power is in
It's
the
a weird
form of
theme to have,
trampling,
like,
in the
oh
form of
yeah,
kind of
we worship a
harnessing
bull that's
and,
really good at mining and
subjugating nature.
industry.
Yeah, so let's
Don't
look at
you know
the,
that bull? It's a
another
great
sort of
bull.
variation that this kit enables you to make, which are the anointed sentinels. These are the most devoted towards Hashut
Anointed
of,
ones. So we have naked
the
ones.
Hellsmiths. They guard his holy places, whatever
That looks
a
pretty
holy
cool.
place for the bull father Hashut might look like. So they're much more defensive than the other bull centaurs, although by no means a passive unit. They're just really great at counter-punching. And when you
Yeah,
consider
one
how
box,
much
two
of
kits.
these
So
dwarves
it's
might be standing
hey, if
back
you want the other
raining
ones,
death on the enemy,
then you got to buy
very
more of them.
useful in their own right.
And
They've
hope
also
you
got,
don't
like,
build
an
it wrong.
interesting nod to that
But I don't
Hashut-like
see why you
culture,
couldn't like mix and match a
sort of
bit.
breathed into it through these.
Have one guy
I
naked
love
and the
those
other
pictures.
two
They
armored and
might
say,
be
yeah,
my
that's unit
favourite of
champion,
the
or
range
use them as
of
one
sculpts.
They
one
also,
type
keep
of
that
unit
sort of classic
or the other
imagery that
type
we're
of
used to
unit,
from before,
depending
as
on
does
what
the
you
next
wanted
unit.
in that
This is
particular
seamlessly
game, depending on
segueing
what the
in,
points allow, depending on
we'll
which
see.
had better
So here's some
rules.
variations, but we have the infernal razors. Now, these
Ah,
have
there's
got
your cannon
blunderbusses.
men.
And if
Little
you,
cannon dwarves with
are long enough in the
blunderbusses.
beard, you might remember Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses.
I don't know about the
from
sci-fi
yesteryear.
glowing
Absolute
guns.
Oh,
I'm
like
not
terror
super
of
keen on that.
Warhammer Fantasy 6th
Age of
edition, I
Sigmar
think.
does have a more like
diabolical. And
Warcraft
these are
glowing
a
things and then
very
more
dangerous,
magic.
shooting unit in their own right. Again, they're harnessing that sort of
That's what they're going
demonic
for.
power to operate their
Which
weapons.
is fine.
There's no gun
It's
power
fine.
necessary here.
I am more traditional with liking
And,
my Warhammer
the
stuff,
kit
my
makes
Warhammer
two
Fantasy.
options. So you have those, and you have the
Square
flame
bases,
hurlers,
rank and file.
which,
The problem, of
I mean, they
course,
hurl
with
flames, there's
Warhammer
not much
Fantasy
more
is you
explanation
need to
particularly required.
have
Yeah,
so many
two really
models
powerful
before
units.
you
The
even have a
blunderbusses,
small army.
not
It's
much
like
to choose
100
between, really, they both
models
do a great job.
of
Blunderbusses
an
have got
elite
a little
army
bit more range
before you
on
have
them.
2,000 points.
The flame hurlers can fire while you're in combat, which is really handy. So even if the enemy manages
All
to
right,
reach you,
flame
you can
hurlers
set
with the
them on
pistol
fire.
keyword,
But the
or
thing that really
fire
makes
to
them is that
combat.
through
I
the
can't remember what
army
that
rule
wording
mechanic,
is
you
for
can
Age of
power
Sigmar,
them up
where you
and power
can
up the
shoot
demonic
that
energy
at
inside
point
the
blank
guns,
range.
basically increase the
There's
rend
no
on the guns.
restrictions to
You can get
shooting
these
into
things up to
combat
rend 3,
in
doing
Age of
multiple
Sigmar.
damage, which is
So if one of
absolutely
your
horrific.
friends'
So
friendly units
if the
is in
enemy is, like,
combat with another
charging
enemy
your,
unit, you can shoot that
your
enemy
big unit
unit.
of infernal
I
razors,
think.
and you get like a decent round of shooting against it. You
Whereas
can
if you
wipe out
are
things
in
like heavy
engagement
cavalry
range,
and
which is
whole
3
units of
inches in
army
Age of
infantry and
Sigmar,
stuff like that.
you can
They are
only shoot
very,
at
very
the
good.
enemy,
Yeah,
and you can now in this
everything
edition
showing
only
really is
shoot at
quite
the enemy
elite
if your
and,
weapon allows you
high
to.
value.
Get rid of
Essentially
the other end of
pistol
it.
keyword.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if you want some chaff to hurl under the the wheels of the enemy, so to
Ooh,
speak?
there's the
Good
hobgrots.
news. There is a genial relationship between the Hellsmiths
Slaves,
of
just
Hashut
say
and
slaves.
the Hobgrots.
We
who
know they're
sort of
slaves. You
alter
don't
their
need to
ranks.
say, oh, these are the
Hobgrots
ones that
also
are
really
under
into doing awful things and
Corvus
desecrating the world.
Crow's horrible
And so
exclusionary
exist
rules,
almost like a vassal
and they have them
state
separated.
within,
They're slaves.
the Zardron culture. In exchange
They're
for
sub-people.
better
They're
weapons
enslaved
than they could,
races.
like forage for themselves. They get to join the army and whack stuff. They fill a really interesting niche in that they are faster than the Hellsmiths and they can scout, right?
They absolutely can.
Scouting
so the way these
hobgoblins.
guys are going to fit into your army,
And the
most of your
interns,
force is going
yeah.
to be very good at shooting.
Oh, in Age of
but
Sigmar, it's called
relatively
shooting
slow.
combat.
So
That's
you
the
move
keyword.
out
That's a very
objectives
convenient explained
late game.
keyword. I like
But
that.
these can scout, as you say. so you
Slaves
can
is
push
bad
them
word.
forward
Can't
early in
say
the game,
slaves.
grab those objectives, just get
Disadvantageous
under the
working
feet of enemy
conditions.
units.
Mhm.
They will absolutely be used for things like trying to take a charge from something so you can set all your other units up for an amazing round of shooting, or to charge them with bull centaurs or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you will absolutely want some of these.
Well, there's a
in your
guy with a
force.
whip,
We've obviously
and then
seen
we also
hobgoblins
have people
before,
being
in
whipped
the kind
and
of
forced to
full-voice
fight,
force,
but it's
these
not
are,
slavery.
armored and equipped by the Hellsmiths themselves.
It's
so it's
strong
slightly better
encouragement.
armored.
They're
none-
free
none of
to
that
say
sort of,
no. The
elven
alternative is
power
death,
in the
but they're
weapons
free
range
to
of
say
They don't get to play
no.
with any of the cool demon stuff.
So
No, if they were into the
let's
whips,
look
they
at
would
some
join
of the extra
Slanesh.
sort of heroes that join.
Where there's a whip,
This is the demon
there's
smith.
a way.
They are the ones who do the hellsmithing, I suppose.
Oh,
it's fair to
I remember
say.
that song.
And
From the
you can
animated
see
Lord
in
of the
this model,
Rings.
there's some real sort of
So
hints
Demon
as to who
Smith,
is obviously
he's
a
like,
wizard.
I'm going to read a
He's
book.
got that demonic
It's not a book
power,
of
so he's
grudges,
got
it's a book of
hand.
demons.
He's got his tome looks like it's like
100
etched in,
grudges
I
matched
don't
with
know what
100
it's like.
demons.
Obsidian Jade or
Yeah,
something like that,
exactly.
isn't it? Yeah.
With like vile runes.
Yeah, I like the idea of a stone
His
grimoire.
lectern is animated. In a nutshell, they
How
are.
good is that paint scheme though?
It's
Whoever painted that in their heavy heavy metal team.
I
Well
know they're
done.
painting
Yeah,
them
done.
well,
It's
but
just stunning.
why doesn't mine look like
fill
that
up
is
particular
something that's going to be
functions because
frequently
they're
said.
the ones that enable all of the sort of the hellsmithing. to
Yeah,
take
they
place.
allow the kind of army to work.
Needs to
in-game
have bigger
terms, they do a
hats and more
particularly useful
cows.
thing, as well as being a wizard, which is obviously great. They can heal your war machines as well.
Dwarf
so if you've got any
wizard?
of those big infernal
Did he say
engines
there's a
or you've got any
dwarf
of your
wizard?
cannons
That
have been
doesn't
damaged,
sound
they can kind
okay.
of go over and put the power back.
Yeah,
in.
they're very Warcraft looking.
Yeah, this kit has another option in it, it also makes an Ashen Elder.
they look nice.
We showed you the anointed centaurs, who are the ones who guard the
An
holy
Ashen
sites.
Elder.
This is the person doing
It's an
the
old
rituals
dwarf
inside
with a
the holy
demon
sites.
hammer.
And you can see that petrification.
Keep wanting to say like a
starts
demon
to
inside a
happen to
hammer.
his skin.
Demon hammer. Let's
The
call it a demon
older
hammer.
a hellsmith gets, the more
They're not
they start
cruel
to
boys, they'll be
become
enslaved,
like
cruel
stone.
boys.
Their skin
Cruel
cracks,
boys
if
under
they're
new
very
management.
powerful, if they have the right magics.
And he lacks the big
Hold
hat.
it
This
at bay a
guy,
little
the
bit,
Ashen
yeah,
Elder,
yeah,
lacks the big
but
hat,
Doom is upon
which
them.
is how
There's a
you
couple
know
of
it's a
really
bad
interesting
model.
things I like his
Needs a
staff,
big hat to be a good model.
eulogize about how beautiful it is that the smoke makes it look like a beard.
Hammer with a
Do you
firing
have
mechanism.
Fascinating fact about the hammer.
There's
Yeah,
lots
it
of
might be.
things that
So
are
it might
really
be
fun
like
about this miniature, but
you
if we go for
not
hammer,
so much a firing
there's not
mechanism,
a
but
lot
you
of
like
hammers
tap
in
the glass,
Hellsmiths of the
and
Shield.
then it
One of
angers the
reasons
demon
is that
inside. So
hammers are
do not
actually
tap the
seen
glass
as a
signs are all
profane
around.
symbol to the Hellsmiths because they remind them of the other dwarven
Dwarf
ancestors
wizards are
of
a thing with the
which really
Chaos
like
Dwarves.
hammers.
They're not
But
really
this
using
particular hammer
magic.
is blessed in the blood of other Duardin
All right,
priests.
okay, the more they do,
So
they
he
turn
would
to
have,
stone.
like, found a runesmith or
Interesting.
something, or one of the
Interesting.
Caradron priests or something,
Yeah.
and then slain
Chaos
them in a
Dwarf
sacrifice
Society
and
sounds
blessed
like wind
the hammer
chimes
in their
going off
blood.
from all the beard
So
bongling.
that's-
Could
that's
be.
why he's the one
Yeah,
with the hammer
yeah.
and no other
So if
Hellsmiths
you're
have
a
them.
Fire Slayer player, a Caradron Overlord
they hate
player,
this guy,
like,
yeah, yeah.
pick on this guy the
Oh,
most, right?
the Caradrons and the Fire Slayers.
What if the
really
orcs
do not
join
get
the
on with
orcs?
Hellsmiths.
What if the
Like,
dwarves
there
join
is a
the
lot- They've
orcs?
got beef.
Nah,
basically.
I don't know.
absolutely
We just
so.
have this from the old
There's also
Warhammer Fantasy.
another character we should talk about. This
Fourth
is
edition was Chaos Dwarves.
He's the first demon smith.
The
Back
very
in
first
that
demon smith.
ancient
Okay, so this is meant to be a
time
recent
when
thing.
the
Having
Hellsmiths
dwarves
needed to,
worshipping
learn to survive.
Hashut and using demons.
He learned
The
the secrets
radicals of
this
the Dwarf
demon
Society.
smithing from Hashut. He is
But I think
truly
what they'll do
ancient
is
and
have a
abominably powerful.
basic
You can see how
dwarf
that manifests his,
army book,
the
which will
petrification
have
on
the
back, like
dispossessed take
deep
them out,
trenches of, like,
either out
rock
of
starting to form out of his flesh,
the cities of
horns
Sigmar,
erupting from his
and make that
skull.
just more
He's
humans
mounted
and currently
on an
also elves.
enormous infernal,
and also add these
like
hellsmiths in there.
infernal Taurus.
We're like, yep, this is totally
Just
order.
centerpiece written all
They're
over
just
him,
the radical
incredible spot
versions.
within the lore. Wonderful.
Yeah, very, very cool miniature. It's a 2-for-1 kit as well, which is
Flying
really
Bull,
cool.
and I'm sure it makes a
also
special
makes,
character as well as a
Demon
more
Smith on
generic
Infernal
version.
Taurus.
There
There's
you
a bunch of
are,
options
Demon
on this kit
Smith.
as well, which is amazing. So I can't wait to see what painters do with this kit particularly because
Yeah,
it
I
is
like that you can make it out of
asking for a
onyx.
beautiful
That
colour
looks
scheme.
good, kind of
You can
onyx.
imagine this in like beautiful
jade.
non-metallics or metallics
Yeah.
or glowing runes or
the glowing-
kind of petrified rock or something else.
That
But,
looks nice. I mean, it's
again,
painted
that
well.
kind of
It
manifestation
will be
of
a
Hashut
matter of
as,
how well
yeah,
you can paint
never
like that.
deciding to use the
Smoky
natural
hornhead?
materials, right? It's always going to be industrial in some way or made out of iron or metal or stone or something like that.
And the only wood on the base is like burned
Burnt
through
to
ink.
cinder.
it's
Yeah,
so
you,
good.
you can imagine him walking through a forest of just like that.
Yeah, should we take a look at some of the models in the flesh? We've got them here in the room with us, and
Yeah.
we can give you
I've
some
got-
sort
I've
of
got
a sense
ourselves
of
a
their
little
content.
line
Could be
there,
copper.
yeah,
Copper looks good.
Looking good.
Yeah.
All
right, show us in
Here
scale.
is my personal favourite. You have the War Despot. You can see
tiny
he's a very
Gretchen.
chunky-looking dwarf.
grot.
And if I stick this infernal razor next to him, you get a sense of.
What we
sorry,
need
I'm
is seeing
looking
them
half out of the
compared
camera
to
there.
other
Perfect.
models.
You
Show
can
it
see,
next to a
bigger in
Stormcast
stature,
model.
more
Then we
powerful,
can see a scale.
moving
Because
along,
people
you
know
have the Demon
Stormcast.
Smith,
As soon as
the
you've been in the
Ashen
Games
Elder.
Workshop store,
Teeny
there are
tiny little
Stormcast there.
hotspot on the end of the
You can
line.
paint your own
Really
Stormcast with a
quite
shield
sort
and a
of
spear.
scrawny, just perfect for subverting to your will. and
Maybe
getting
why they
something good out of it.
can't.
Just for kind
They
of scale
don't
purposes, that's the
really
same
want to
size,
do
more or less,
Space
the whole
Marines
for
with
current
like a
edition,
shield
the
and
cool
hammer,
boys, you get an
or a
idea
shield and a
of the
spear,
size.
because you could just take
much
the Age of
larger.
Sigmar models.
We have
put them into
the,
40K.
the bull
So it always has to
centaur
be
there,
sword and shield.
So you can see that the power of Hashut sort of coursing through that guy. This is a fairly large cavalry miniature there. It's like on a scale.
So
with
their
some of the
cavalry
kind of,
are
I guess
larger than
Agrodon
other
sort of
people's
size, that kind
cavalry
of,
to
Yeah, yeah,
compensate for their
he's big, to
otherwise
say the
smallness.
least. But not as big as.
Yeah, they're sort of back to
so
hammer and
here we
shield.
go.
They do have spear and shield from
the,
3rd edition, and that's the model I still give
even
away in
beefier,
Games Workshop.
Yeah,
people say.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think.
So-
This is such a cool model.
The Minotaur.
I think, you can have a few of these in your army as well. There's a few. Different
think that
options
would
for kind
maybe
of
look better
heads
with
and,
bull
things,
legs.
so I certainly expect to see.
No, it's okay on
a
2
few
legs.
of these
We already
making
have
their way
that
into-
with the
Let's
Age of
bring in- let's bring the
Sigmar
artillery
Yeah, let's get rid of
High
it.
Elves.
Right, so-
They have a
the main event.
mountain cow.
So if I squeeze some of these guys
We're running out
out
of
of the way.
space. There's too much
Yeah,
stuff in
so
this release. It doesn't
the
all fit
big
the
mountain cow is going to be
Cleaning.
twice as big as that. The elf one being twice as big as the dwarf one, I'm
we
okay
go,
with.
so you can see the
That's
two war machines.
thematic.
Again, these have got like really
Has
lovely
chunky
little dire
legs.
armors on the back, so you've got multiple
Very chunky
characters
legs.
sort of with different roles across
Sacrosanct the Hammer Sisters? Yes, we have Hammer Sisters, but
funneling the
a
demonic
battle
power
sister with a
into the
hammer and a
engine or,
shield
stoking the
compared to a
furnace and that
Stormcast
sort of thing.
Eternal with a
I've
hammer and
used
shield
these
is a
books
very
in
different
Maccaroos
scale.
before. These are
They
just
don't even scale up
wonderful
to like
pieces
the
in
Paragon
Yeah,
War
let's bring
suits
in
are even
Rectar,
bigger
shall we?
Yeah, he's the big
than
guy.
the
Here we
even the
Round
big
this
fat.
all out.
Well, a bit bigger than the chunkier
So, I mean, this
Stormcast
is,
with hammer and shield.
It's a fairly big model.
Towers above even the Dominator engine.
There we go.
just
13 of your 18 Blade Guard are intercessors with Stormcast, Eternal Shields and Spears. Cool. I like that.
And you can see it all in more detail. There's probably some bits and pieces of information that we left out. We need to move on.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to stop telling us about the small guys.
Before I do, one more
Show
thing.
us now some small people from another of your things.
Keen to know,
Hey, let's
about
do
Warcry
a
and
Black
whether
Library small man.
Warcry is
Show us a
relevant.
Black Library
The
small man.
Warhammer Studio team are going to publish rules for using Hellsmiths of Hashut for Warcry when they release.
Yep.
So keep your eyes peeled.
Okay,
on
so
the
Warcry
website.
isn't
There'll be a free
killed.
download that lets you try out some of
They
the
will
Hellsmith,
have more stuff for Warcry.
models in Warcry in your games.
Yeah, so not only will there be a full new army for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, they will also feature as an entire new faction in Warcry as well.
Yeah, Blade Guard
And
veterans in
also-
squads of 3.
Yes, it would be nice if we
Pretty good.
segued seamlessly into the Warhammer Underworlds.
Oh, yes, they
welcome
said they were going to do
Spitewood.
Warhammer
This is an
Underworlds.
expansion for Warhammer Underworlds.
Spitewood.
it's,
So we're doing
the
Wood Elves
scene
and
is
Chaos Dwarves.
essentially, you're in the Spitewood. You have a Hellsmiths of Hashut warband fighting against the Kenothi. So it really is industry versus nature.
Yeah, there's a
We've
strong
done that
rivalry
theme
in,
before. We
in
had
Northern Realms between
one of the cities of
Hellsmiths,
Sigmar
who
is
are
like,
all about,
yeah,
like,
we do
as you say,
industry,
trampling
and we
nature
fought
underfoot,
against
and
the
Sylvaneth,
elves,
who are all about
the tree
protecting
elves of
nature, and
Alariel,
the Kenothi are
because we
the
kept
kind of
killing them
warlike
and putting
aspect
them
of
in
that, following
furnaces
the
to
kind of
power
absolute
the
god,
industry.
Kurnoth,
Don't
and
you
to
know?
defend the wild places of the Mortal Realms.
Yeah, so here you can see the two warbands. So this is an expansion, as we say.
They look
for
fine.
Emberguard. And you have the Hellsmiths, you have the Kenothi. The Blood of the Bull is the Hellsmiths unit. Bottom left-hand corner, you have.
Oh, yes, so
a
there's your
War
little
Despot,
not slave man that definitely wants to be there
army
and isn't going to stab
advancing
anyone in
into
the back.
Spitewood has suffered a strategic reversal, so she's regrouped with her sort of remaining warriors, her inner circle, and she's waiting on reinforcements before she can raise the place to the ground. So she finds herself.
So it's like
contesting it,
Fern
obviously,
Gully.
against
Yeah,
the
it's kind of like
other
Fern Gully.
warband.
Yeah.
Or
You've got some
Princess
great
Mononoke.
archetypes in the mix there as well. I particularly
Could be
like
also
the
like Princess
Hobgoblins.
Mononoke, which I think is
Yeah.
better than Fern Gully.
If you've
I'm not
been
dismissing
playing Warhammer for a very
Robin
long time,
Williams, like,
you
voice
may
talents,
remember
but-
Hobgoblins from Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and there was a unit called Throat Cutters. I think
Oh,
it was,
yeah,
or
Throat Cutters
Splitters.
for the Hobgoblins.
He is basically
Little
a
knives.
homage to those.
It's
as
really
well, which is
lovely.
really lovely to see.
Yeah, they've got.
Give me my old world
their
Dark
rules
Elves again.
Reflect that sort of.
Yeah,
thunder,
they're in
take
Cities of
what you
Sigmar
want,
now.
Decimate the landscape,
And also have
just
legacy
destroy it,
rules.
sort of
I know
mentality.
because all my
The other
armies
warband
in
this
Old World are
is
legacy.
essentially-
Skaven,
well,
Vampire
there we go.
Counts, Dark
Heralds,
Elves.
Herald.
That's fine.
There's three of them
Because
in the
tournaments for the Old
kit.
World allow
They make
legacy
these,
armies. I have
Kenothi.
never
Thing
seen
to point
an
out
Old
with them in
World
terms of,
tournament
like,
that
their
didn't
rules and how
say
they play
legacy
is they're
armies are
very
valid,
defensive,
or didn't
because
need to
they're holding
say
what they've got. They're not interested
legacy
in the
armies are
rules and stuff, they
excluded.
just want to protect their
Like, it's
wood.
assumed at this point
So while they're
that
in
you
that
can
open
enter
area
with
of the
legacy
board, if
armies.
you're an Underworld
Like the
player
Chaos
with full
Dwarves.
sort of mechanic, they're better, so they're better at defending their own
So
objectives.
it's quite an interesting warband then, because they're quite a fast warband, and usually you expect that to be quite aggressive.
Yeah.
But your bonuses are for defensive play.
Yeah, so redeploying.
Princess
fighting
Mononoke
in
getting an
different areas in
IMAX
your own
screening.
area,
Nice.
I love these miniatures.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think,
really
we've
good
seen
film.
Kenothi in Underworld.
I mean,
before,
that's
this
sort
is
of
an
like
expansion of
Forest
that.
Guardian
But I
spirit that
think
you
this
see
is
at the end of
phenomenal
Princess
quality.
Mononoke
I
could
looked
absolutely
too
be
long
for the
and I'm
Wood
really
Elves of
stirred
Age of
by the
Sigmar.
Gemstones glowing
You
in
said
their
that you don't like the
belly buttons.
glowing
Yeah,
belly
it's
buttons.
something about it, man.
I dig it. I'm here for glowing belly buttons.
So there we go. Awesome stuff also for Warhammer Underworld.
Yeah, 40k Terminator is coming set to
awesome
5.
set of releases for Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Apart
And
from
10
the
years
Horus Heresy
of
ones,
Warhammer
which now
That's
are
a
set
fair
to
point,
3.
10 years ago,
The Saturnine
this month,
ones.
we saw the arrival of the Mortal Realms.
Oh my
the
god,
birth of Warhammer
ponies,
Age of
do
Sigmar.
not say
We're
the
gonna be
word.
sort of
You will summon
showing
the
over
Paul.
coming year, a whole
The
bunch of
Paul will come out
interesting
if you say
things,
that.
the Mortal Realms. So if you enjoy Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you're in for
The
a
art
good
that's
time.
made of these half DM models is going to be
It's a long
interesting.
time to get here, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
we're only movement 4. So
Raph
Yeah,
has,
will be.
respectively,
I know,
reminded
I
us there is,
know.
in fact, 5 more things to talk
there's
about.
more. Look at
So we've got
and we're already
more
getting the
little
move
warbands?
along
I mean,
side.
those guys in the top right,
there
I've seen
are
them before.
4 more boxes coming for Warhammer Underworlds. Each box contains 4 warbands. Each box also synergizes with a particular faction. So this is the Order one, the Seekers in Shadow. It
Okay, so if
contains
you want 4
warbands,
ordered
from the Order
factions
faction,
to just have
Grand
4
Alliance, I
things
should
for
say.
War,
This is the
not
Death
Warcry,
one.
Underworlds, then you can.
These are the Reavers of
I mean, if you
Ruin, the
wanted
Chaos
some
Warbands.
death models,
say
you could
my
be like,
favourites
hey, I
are
want to
because
have
I'm
them, but
allowed
just
to.
have the vampires. I
It
don't
gets
think it
into
had the
the last
vampires. The
instructional
vampires are the cool
each-
ones. Why aren't they giving me the
Anybody
vampires?
who plays Warhammer Underworlds will know each Warhammer Underworlds warband is lovely, right? They're just characterful and they home into a different.
I mean, you
part
got
of
your
the
little
Mortal Realms
goblins
setting.
on the
And you
wolves.
get 4 in a box. It's delightful. To play with
Chaos,
them,
you got the
would need
Skaven.
to pick up this, which is the Warbands of Spitewood. Contains all the cards and everything that you want. So whether you fancy playing with them in Warhammer Underworlds, seamlessly integrating them with their War Scroll cards into...
The Death ones
Warhammer
were
80
the
Sigmar.
electric
Just having some different
necromancer
modeling
guy,
experiences.
the
16
ghouls, which look all right.
opportunities
They are.
There
Every
was
one of those
the
boxes is all killer, no
Tomb
filler.
Guard
There's
with
some
Tomb
beautiful
King, like that
mixes in there,
family,
including the
and
crab,
some
the Iron
ghosts.
Crab.
Perfect. Yeah.
Including
So,
Headless
we
Ghost.
actually are at the end of the Warhammer.
We are now at the end of the Mortal Realms.
It would be a good time to check in on Question Corner and see if there are in fact any questions.
Yeah, there's loads.
Yeah, they're going to do like 40k, then a lot of stuff that isn't 40k, because they know that if they bookend it, people will be interested in 40k, and then they'll come back later for more 40k.
Range is stunning, so people are super pumped about that. So there's a bit of
Oh
news
yeah,
about
yeah.
the,
I think they've done it before, where it's like this is an old world and Warhammer Fantasy one. I know from my numbers, if it's hey, this is what's happening with just Horus Heresy or happening with just old world stuff, it's a third of the viewers.
Factions in the Mortal Realms, they are definitely in the Chaos Grand Alliance. So despite what they themselves believe, they are
right. So they are Chaos Dwarves in the Chaos
a
Alliance.
little bit.
You don't get to play with that much
good.
demon
You
power.
know, I mean,
and
you have tusks growing out of your face and horns growing out, and
you're using demons. Did they
something's
forget
got
the
a little
using
bit demonic
demons
there.
part?
But they would consider themselves as kind of champions of order, but they are in the Chaos Grand Alliance. They also trade with the various forces of chaos, so perhaps Chaos Warlords.
And they
would
happen
go
to
to
trade
their
with Chaos
ziggurats
because
and,
they were
be
in
served with,
Warhammer
like,
Old
weapons that
World
they forged
in the
exchange
Northern
for
Mountains, so they
bounty
were
that
pretty
collected
close to
across the realms.
Nausicaa
They also
and
have
the
a
Chaos
kind of symbiotic relationship with
Marauders
the
up there.
Hot
And then the
Rods,
Chaos,
traded with,
like,
like the Cruel Boys and things like that.
the
But they
big
are
Chaos
Grand Alliance.
invasions would come down from the north,
how does
which is meant to be Scotland, if you didn't know.
really
And then they'll
really
invade.
bad
So it's like
at all.
Scotland on
Does-
top
does-
of
does not play well
Germany.
with others as a recurring theme.
Because there's no
He
real
is
things
part
of
the
like,
pantheon of the Dwarven gods, right,
Denmark
but,
is invading
he
Germany
feels
from the
ostracized.
north.
They
You didn't get that.
understandably
That's
want
not a thing that's
ostracized.
really happened. Some
So
Vikings for
the
sure,
Hellsmiths kind of vilely resent
but
the
not
other,
really something that
Dwarven
happened
gods.
beyond
It's
the
a very
Viking era.
practice, relationship.
Oh yeah, Chaos
which
Dwarves
is why
made the
there's
Black
such,
Orcs.
vitriol between them.
Interesting.
Great questions. Thank you very much. We need to go to our next setting.
Yeah, they're a lot like Iron
which we
Warriors
will
with the
do
we're totally
by
not
moving
worshipping
to
chaos,
the
however,
Horus
demons and
Heresy.
everything.
Let's do it.
So there are
And Perturabo may as well be a
multitude of
massive demon
great
at this
releases
point.
coming.
Oh,
if you
there's
play,
your Legions
Legions
Imperialis mini things.
It's all
So
tanks.
there's your
whirlwind
whirlwinds.
So many tanks.
And we'll take
They're
you
not
on a tour.
immolators. I would say
Several
they're like a
boxes
7 out of 10 on the
fantastic
immolator scale.
Plastic kits that make some really interesting additions to your army. On screen now you can see the Whirlwind and Scorpius set. It's 8 of those, 4 of each. And so if you want to just rain death on
The
the
Scorpius
enemy,
one's being
blow them
slightly
out of their
different.
cover,
There,
it
so you
really
can
is
all
a
have
wonderful way to do it.
whirlwinds,
Built on
immolators
that
things.
famous Rhino chassis, as is the Vindicator.
No, they're not
Siege
metal
Squadron.
boxes to hide in.
Essentially,
You
what's the
can't
biggest
put
gun you
people
can
in
stick
metal
on a
boxes to
Rhino? Oh,
hide.
it
It's
appears to be a gun
cannons,
with a-
metal
what-
boxes
what
with
if I
cannons.
I want an
Space
even
Marine
bigger
unit.
gun though, Adam. I want a bigger gun.
You want to do a heavier siege.
I want a
than
heavier
that.
siege gun than that.
You
Well,
want
I've
a
got some
Stern
very good
Tiger,
Oh,
news.
that's
yeah.
it. That's exactly it.
The Type on Heavy Siege Tank Squadron is on the way.
There's your big one.
It's just
So it's
even
not a
bigger
Land
and more
Raider,
dangerous than the
it's a Land Raider
Vindicator.
cannon.
And you get like a nice guy with a flamer just warming things up and making sure that everything goes
Is he
according to
Really
contributing,
tiny
like,
pieces.
by the time you've been shot by that
I like
siege
to
gun, how
imagine
much of a flamethrower do you
He's-
really
I
need?
imagine he's just,
Yeah, this
like,
is the really
baking
tiny
off
10
what's
millimeter
left.
range.
You
Maybe,
drive
yeah,
through and he's
maybe.
like, you're getting some and you're getting some. If you want to blow things up from
I
further
saw
away,
some of the
maybe there's
Mechanica stuff for
for
Imperialis. That is absurdly tiny because they're smaller than the regular Space Marines. And the Space Marines are already really small.
Lasers. That guy's
So
offering
you
a fist
barely
bump.
have anything on a base. At
It
this
is a
point, you
wonderful
can just use
time to be
tokens for the
driving
models,
tanks
and it
over
would
the
work
enemy.
about
Some
the
debate in
same.
the office as to whether
Imperialis.
it's a heavy tank destroyer. or
Typhon,
a
yeah, the
heavy
name
tank
generation
destroyer.
is without
Exactly.
multiple
Let
duplicates.
us
We're
know
going to
in the
see
chat
that.
which one you think it is.
Do you think it's
The amount of
it's a heavy
Primaris
tank
Psychers we
destroying
have
or
as
a tank
well.
destroying heavy things?
Oh, 8 millimeters, not 10 millimeters.
Possibly
All right.
both, possibly
I thought it was more 10
The
millimeters
heaviest
from
of all of the
Epic.
tanks.
If they're
so
willing to do an
heavy,
even
it's
smaller
super
one,
heavy, is the Mastodon
makes
assault
sense.
transport. What if you want to just pack Space Marines into
Mastodon?
a tank,
Okay.
drive across the battlefield, open
I've
your
seen them in
gates
40K.
and charge into an enemy
They're
stronghold,
big.
having
Land Raiders
leveled
work a lot
walls with
better.
a melter array, then this is the way for you.
It's like
to
a
do
Land
so,
Raider with more
even with its
tanks and a
own
massive cannon,
anti-aircraft
and
system
yeah.
on the top.
It
and
sounds
the
like
pilot
it
of that is
should
offering
be
you
a
crisp
Power
response as well. I
Rangers
imagine it
vehicle.
gets on great with the other guy.
It's sort of a 30,000 equivalent of a siege tower. Isn't it?
I love it.
Yeah, keep them in
The
pill
design
bottles,
on
then you
this,
just do a
you see
line
this
of.
at, like,
Do you
standard
fancy
100 scale.
a sniff of the old
It's still
Imperialis?
beautiful. Small scale. It's just little.
Yeah.
So those
Mastodons
kits,
carry 40
like
Marines.
loads
They're
and loads
massive.
of tanks, the Treadheads rejoice. All
They're
of the
definitely
rules
very
for
big.
those units, all of the rules
Mastodon,
for
I mean, they're
all of
an
the
absurd
units
number
in
of
Legions
points.
Imperialis can be found in Liber Strategia.
Mastodon.
Essentially, a thing that combines combines all of the rules and puts them in one place. If you've got a copy of the core rulebook and got a copy of this, you are ready to rock
they're
and roll,
Legends of the
along
Horus
with
heresy. Yeah,
a
that
whole
makes
bunch
sense.
of other rules
610
content.
points.
there's too much to go into here and now, but have a look in the article that's
Transports 45 models.
and we'll talk more about it closer to the launch. What if you really like the letters
including
A through F, and you want to mark
can also
objectives
transport
and/or
2
token
dreadnoughts,
effects,
which
we're
takes up the
releasing a
wound
really
characteristic equivalent
useful set of token markers
in
for
like
using the games.
spaces. So if
I
you have a
find
10
this
wound
very
dreadnought, it
useful
takes up
for
10
reminding me
spaces.
what effects are going on in the game. And then
30
there's all the
wounds,
formation
toughness
data
14.
sheets you need for your,
You're probably not going to kill it, but it's
Imperialis
probably
games.
not going to do
The-
too
the
much.
team responsible
There's no
for
assault
design
ramp for
have
it.
really just done a cracking job of making sure that like the rules are accessible. You can get hold of them. It's really fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm
custom
very
not the same
Kind
as
of
anything
pile
else
a
you
lot
can do a
of stuff
line
together
of.
in a
Yeah,
much more
absolutely.
convenient way of
I've got a
approaching it.
good
There'll just
friend
be
who's
loads of
super into it.
bankers in the toilets at the back of
He was asking
hotels
me about,
doing
like,
lines
you know,
of tiny
how I would
rhinos.
Get all of his rules together, and I just had to sit there quietly knowing that.
What
like,
else can you spend
that
your
be great
bonus
if
on?
they're
I don't know.
Yeah,
Bonding
your president
vampires?
answers.
Maybe
There's
you
more
could do
stuff
that.
set within the Age of
Ko-fi link in the
Darkness.
description. Ko-fi
We
link in the
teased
description.
these in
Get addicted to
the,
vampire
Saturday,
VTubers instead of
but we
anything
have the
white.
Mark II assault
scars.
squad. I think we showed one before,
We
didn't we?
did, yeah. I
Right, so this
absolutely
is
love
actually
these.
Horus
this
Heresy.
is
So
the
these
new
are the
Mark
Horus
II
Heresy
assault
range.
Mark II is kind of one of the more brutal looking of the various different space
So
marine
it
armor
seems
marks,
like they're going to
and
go
these guys
through
have
your main
ramped that up
things of like,
even
here's your
further.
tactical
You've got,
marines
some
or your
options in this kit
legionaries,
for a variety
and
of
then
different,
use the
weapon
assault
options.
squads, and then
The
Devastators.
coolest
It's
of
just the
them
same
is the
tactical squad, but with an
chain
add-on
axe, which is
kit.
an optional free upgrade to the chainsaw that comes normally with your assault marines.
Yeah, and so
Big
the
chain
kit's
axe.
loaded with chain
Interesting.
axes. It even has heavy chain axes for extra clout. Think of them as slightly slower than chain
But
axes.
will they have rules in a lever? I mean, they will. They should do. They should do.
There are points for the alternative. So if you buy these,
Yes, you've got another Mark of
straight
Assault Squad,
points,
because
no
wasn't
points
there
involved,
Mark
just a straight
4
kit swap.
armor, and
If
then
you're
we've had the
dying
Mark
to have that
6
classic
Assault
chainsaw
Marines, and these are the
loadout,
Mark 2.
and there's some good news
Now,
because
if
you
it
can
is
swap
5 in a
them with
box,
the ones that are on the Mark 6
the
Assault
Mark
Marines, or you
6
can
is a
just,
squad of
get them
10
from the
for
upgrade kit.
35, no,
But
40
I
pound.
think compliance has never looked better than it does with a.
So if you want
There's some
the
great different
same
options in there
kind
as
of
well. You've
models,
got a
you
couple of
probably
heavy
get the
chain
same
axes too, which is
with
another
the
upgrade
Mark
you can
6
put onto
models.
some of the models.
All it
The
really
sides
is
have
a
got the
head swap.
option for some pistols and close combat weapons. And as you can see with the salamander on the screen there as well, you can also equip them with combat shields.
You can have your combat shields. All right, you've got the circular shot
I
shields.
would imagine we're also going to see some of these.
And there's your big
converted
chain
with all
blades.
the
So these
different
would be
Space Marine
really
kits.
good for
One of
World
the
Eaters.
lovely things about the Horus Heresy.
I know they painted them
is that
Iron Warriors,
so
but
many
yeah,
of the
World
kits are
Eaters.
really interchangeable with each other, so you can take bits and heads. And
Is
arms
higher
and
Mark
weapons
always
and stuff
better?
and really
It's
create
aesthetics. Mark 6 is the beaky stuff. Mark 4 is the same as like the current Mark 10 looking.
There's more
And then this is
coming
Mark
as well.
2.
We previewed.
Improvement is not always the same thing.
Journal Tactical, which is available to order right now. In fact, all of
Like
Saturday
Mark
is
4 was
available to
considered
order
pretty
right
good.
now.
Mark
There's
5
a
is
new
cobbled
Journal
together.
Tactical on the
Mark
horizon.
6
It's called the Forge
is
of Saturn.
better. It's a bit
And
more
this is
stealthy, was the
really all
idea.
about,
And then Mark 7
Horus
Aquila
gifts
armor
to
is
his
great because
brothers
it's compatible
through
with
the
all of the
Centaur
other stuff.
project.
And that's why I love the
So it
tactical
focuses very
squads.
heavily
Because
on
that
all of
comes
those
with mostly Mark
armor,
8, but enough to make bits of like Mark 6,
there's
Mark
loads of great new
4,
options in
Mark
this book,
5
particularly
parts,
allowing you to do
because
more
they're all
stuff with your
compatible. It's meant to be
Saturnine
like,
miniatures.
okay,
So,
this is the 41st
there
millennium.
are
We've been
different,
fighting the same
basically,
suits of
things that you
armor
can do to your
for
Saturnine miniatures
millennium.
using
So
other
the older
kits,
stuff, the
mixing
Mark
kits
4, the
together to
Mark
create
6
new
stuff,
units.
those are
So this is a really
relics,
great example.
but
This is
also
a
it's what we
Saturnine
have in the
command
back of the
squad,
cupboard.
and what you've
So
got
if
here
you're
is
missing a
you've taken
gauntlet
bits from
or a
the
shoulder
command
pad
squad,
or a
squad's
helmet from the
crew,
Mark
and
7
also some
bits,
spare bits
while
from
we're
someone who
manufacturing
built
more of them,
a,
use some of the old
Saturnine
stuff.
Praetor with his axe. You get the hammer spare. You can now give it to
Yeah, so we
characters,
see lots
in
of
your
Mark
Saturnine
7
command
helmets.
squad
If you
and
ever
make
have
them
like the
into a
classic
champion.
inverted
The other
V
option
grill,
that you can have
that is the
inside
Mark
this
7.
is to make one of your Saturnine
And then
Terminators
Deathwatch got
into
their own
a
Mark
Saturnine
8, but only the
Centurion.
Deathwatch got to have
That's
it.
the
No one
guy
else.
on the far left there. Saturnine Centurion means that you could now have like 2 tiers of Saturnine Commander you can have in your army.
Oh
Effectively
no,
unlocks
more
the ability
Saturnine
to have an
Terminators that are the
entire
size of a Primarch.
Saturnine styled army. If
They
you
really
wanted
like the
to.
Saturnine Terminators
handled inside
with
this,
disintegrated
Journal
cannons.
Tactica is the way the Legions
You think the
break
Sisters of Battle
Saturnine
could use the
armor,
Saturnine
obviously, to
Terminators?
use it at
For
all
the
requires them to
size,
be
I
at
would
least
love
to
to see
some
them
extent
next to some
sensitive
Paragon
enough
warsuits,
to
but
handle
probably.
them.
Thousand Sons love it. It's their favourite.
But there's
Whichever
also
Mark
some
has the
Thousand
biggest shoulder
Sons that,
pads is the best.
Sort of get the rub in this. So
Yeah, I mean, it's the same for all of the
it
apart from like
happily
Thunder
across.
Armor,
Yeah, there's some really
Mark
interesting
II
stuff
through
about
to
how the
Mark
different legions have sort of
10
embraced it. So
is all like the
Founders
same
have sort of used it
shoulder
as
pads.
intended to some
Although
extent and
the
kind of
thing about Mark
put all
10,
their
which is the
psychic bias
Primaris armor,
inside them.
that's
The
designed
word
to be
there is
stacked.
immediately crammed it
So
full of demons just
the
to see what would happen. But
Gravis
all of the
armor
legions,
is
to some
just
extent,
adding more
recognise
plates to the
lethality
basic
of
Mark
Sapphire
10.
technology and find a
The
place
Reaver
for it in their
armor
legion.
and the Stealthy armor
Perfect.
is just taking
Right.
off armor
We're
plates.
still not quite
You
done
build up
in
to
this
however you want,
sort of area
which
of
is a
the
nice idea.
timeline.
Yes, Mark 7 is better
I
than
am
Mark 10.
super excited to be able to announce today on behalf of the Black Library that there is a new mega series.
So this is
on
the Black
way.
Library?
This is the Scouring. This is book
All
1.
right,
Ashes of
so
the
they're finally
Imperium,
doing
and
the
it kicks
Scouring.
off a
The people who
multi-book,
don't know the Scouring,
multi-author
after
mega
the Horus
series
heresy, when
set
Horus was
in the
defeated,
ashes of
the
Imperium. It's the
Chaos
first
forces
epic
were
title.
routed and fled back to the
Horus
Eye of
heresy has
Terror.
ended. The
The
Emperor
Scouring is the campaign
mortally wounded
to
and
hunt
signed
them
upon
all
the World
down,
War Master is dead.
break them,
Forces
and
of
get them into the Eye of
retreating
Terror,
legions
get them
are
out of the
retreat.
Imperium, because they had
What
still
happens
taken a lot of
next?
territory
So
and wanted
this
to hold it.
series
I think that's where you get
begins
things like
essentially
the
at that
Cage,
premise,
which
and here
is
we have,
Rogel Dawn
a very
fighting
understandable
Perturabo
confrontation
and
between
kind of being
battered
humbled.
and damaged Rogel Dawn and Rabute Gilliman, who has arrived pristine. With
Yeah,
reinforcements.
Gilliman is
And
late.
As you can see, they're at
Gilliman
loggerheads
is the
already.
Americans in this situation.
Black Library are super excited for us to be
I
announced.
want to see
today
Gilliman
because
dealing with the
this
guilt
is
for
the
not being there in
culmination of a lot
time.
of
That
work
could
and
be
effort
good.
between a really sort of carefully assembled cabal of writers and creatives that have been plotting out a multi-book series.
Rogel Dawn's a
that's gonna
tank.
play out over
Yeah.
several years. I'm really
That's when the name
excited.
generator spat out the same name again.
To me earlier on that there's kind of like 3 core themes, aren't there, that's
Yeah,
being
absolutely.
explored through this.
So in a nutshell, and without spoiling anything for those of you who want
I wonder
to
if they'll
enjoy it,
also do
I
stuff like
promise you
Inside the Eye of
spoiler-free.
Terror, because the
There are
Scouring
3
times are when you
principal
have
themes.
Khan
Theme number
becomes the
1 is what
betrayer.
happens with the
It's
legions
where
and
you
stuff,
have
right? They,
the
essentially
Emperor's
caused
children
all of this, or their
and
brothers
Fabius
have.
Bile
They've
cloning
ruined the work of the Great Crusade.
Horus,
The Imperium is
and there's like a clone
tatters.
Horus under their
What is the
control,
place
and
for the Space
Abaddon
Marine legions in the wake
makes
of this
the Sons of Horus into
for
the Black
traitor
Legion
legions, the
and
second
goes
of
and
these
kills
sort of
this clone
perspectives.
Horus.
The War Master is dead. Their whole purpose for doing this has now failed. The Chaos Gods
Any
some
bit
of
of the
their
big
power.
engagements?
So
Probably
suddenly
not. I mean, this
they
is
thought they were
also
onto a good
when
thing, and now
the Scouring
they're
is when we
relatively
get
alone
the
and at
Night
sea.
Haunter
How do
is
they
killed
survive? How do
by
they
an
regroup?
assassin.
The third
That's
group
in the
is,
Scouring.
in my opinion, maybe the most compelling, which is what of humanity, right?
Stop
They've just
saying
watched these
Centurions, you know who
demigods
that summons.
Wage war across the Imperium, ruin everything.
Mark
destroy the
7 armor
Emperor's
should be
great
in
works,
full
the Emperor is
production.
mortally
Interesting.
wounded. How do
Now, we
they
don't know if there's
respond?
going to be
How does
models for
humanity, rally, and how does it perceive the place of the Space Marine legions that remain?
Absolutely.
It's
And I
probably
think,
just going to be a book
worth
series.
saying as
Like
well, this
for the
is,
War of the Beast, they
absolutely
didn't do
this
any
is
new
self-contained
models for the War of the
series.
Beast.
If you have read all of the Horus Heresy from Horus Rising all the way through the full novel series and then gone through the Siege of Terror,
Yeah, weird
first
things
of
were
all,
happening with
very
the
well
War on
done.
Terror
There's
during
a
the
lot
final
of book
fight.
to read, some great stories in there. But if you are new to the Horus Heresy and kind of the setting and the era, you can absolutely just jump in with Ashes of the Imperium and treat the Scouring as a series in its own right.
Yeah, I have
Well,
to give a
good.
little
You
bit of
don't need
shout
to
out
read
Chris
all of the
Ray as
Horus
well,
Heresy
who's
to
the
know what the
author
Scouring's
chosen
about.
for this
I'm
first book.
glad.
He is a true
That's
gangster
a lot of
words.
books.
He's written some of the really fantastic Black Library
Could be the
novels.
thing they use for Horus Heresy
If you've
4th
never read a
edition.
Chris Ray book and you just want to
I think
dip
they'll
your
probably want to
toes
keep
in
Horus
ahead of
Heresy
trying
about
this,
Horus Heresy.
could not
They've had
recommend
one
enough
themed around
Baldor,
Istvan
Birth of the
3.
Imperium.
They've had
It
this
sort of
current
sits
one
outside
themed around
the rest
Istvan
of the sort of
5.
Horus Heresy,
I don't know. They could
experience a
do
little
probably a
bit,
Siege of Terror
and
themed
it's
next time.
like top tier Black Library fiction, and might be a fun way to sort of whet your appetite.
They didn't really
for
have a
more Chris
theme
Ray.
for the first edition.
As we approach the release of this, we're going to have a full-length interview with Chris.
Lost
talking
Primarchs
about
whenever
Ashes
they
of
think they can
Imperium
make more money
and,
off it.
all of
What they're
the
more likely to
care
do
and
is say,
consideration
hey,
of story
Rogel Dawn,
and
who
narrative
at
that
various
unfolds,
times has been
more on
canonically
that
dead,
Warhammer community
canonically
as we go.
injured,
Yeah, it's very
canonically missing, he could come back.
Awesome.
And they'd say,
really
oh,
am
the
super
things
excited
about him
for it.
being dead aren't real because we have a model to sell now.
Yeah,
We're not even close.
We
We're not even
promised
close.
that we would return to the grim darkness of the dark millennium
Without
and
having to
we
read the
do
44
now
books.
with
I recommend
5
having
new
read
Space
Fulgrim,
Marine heroes
which is like the
for,
8th book. That
5
is the
of
one I
first
recommend.
founding
If you
chapters.
know enough about
Right,
40k
this is
and
Vulcan
30k,
Heston. So
then
this is a model returning that has previously been in
we'll get
metal
to
and
that.
resin.
Then
and is
Fulgrim's
now
a good
in
start because it has
plastic.
Istvan
Vulcan
3 and
Heston
Istvan
is a
5
famed
and
hero
the fall of the
Salamander's
Emperor's children.
chapter, and his particular mission is to scour the
So
galaxy.
we have a new
looking for the
Vulcan
relics
Heston
left
model.
by his Primarch
That
and
looks
namesake,
like a Mark 7
Vulcan.
helmet.
He wears some of those relics himself, so he is equipped with.
He's
an
probably going to be on a
suit of armor.
well, I think
He's
that's a
carrying
40mm base.
handheld heavy flamer and a
But
blade.
good to have
of
more
Vulcan
Firstborn.
that crackles with magma fire and is able to slice through enemy warriors. He's also walking through flames, just in case you weren't sure he was as cool as he can be. He's just,
Sanguinius
he's
comes
fire
back
there
all the
as
death
well.
when you go
He
to
is
Legend.
probably the most
Ooh,
iconic.
I
Salamander's
really
character
hope
that
they
exists
stick
in
with
Warhammer
Sanguinius
40,000,
is one of
and
the
it's great to
few
see him,
Primarchs that's
in
actually
plastic.
dead.
He has a couple of head
Yeah,
options.
Vulcan
He's
is the
helmeted,
Salamander's Primarch.
unhelmeted, and both of
So
them
this is the
both of
guy
them look
that's
very,
not
very cool
Vulcan
indeed.
because
He he's only
is
one of the 5
asleep?
Space Marine
Yeah,
characters on the
next
way.
Yeah.
up we have a very iconic
He's like
and
the leader
well-known
of their
hero,
faction.
returning
New
in the
Lysander model.
incarnation, Darnath Lysander first.
I remember
Captain or
Lysander being a
captain of
sergeant
their
and making your
company, I
bolters
should say,
work
the
better.
Imperial
So that's how old I
chapter.
am.
He's
Then we
been
had a
remade in
metal,
the
I think it was metal model. No,
new
then it went to
Terminator
Finecast,
armor style that we saw
which
for the
had that
first time.
shield
Yeah,
and
It's
that
the
sort
same
of hammer.
scale as the ones
absolutely.
in the recent.
Darneth
Underworlds.
Lysander
he
is
is
looking kind of
a
old. So there's another firstborn
substantial man
character.
in that armor.
That's
He has
good.
an enormous storm shield.
Yeah, I'm
carrying
expecting.
that
Oh, good, you get him with the
incredible
Might
helmet
be the best
on.
Storm Shield in
That's
Warhammer.
nice. That's
It's
nice.
up there, isn't it?
I am
right up there.
expecting
I
a
think
new
the
White
Lion
Scars
might
leader
argue
as
with you,
well.
but we're talking top 3, right?
Actually on a bike, not on foot.
Yeah, everything you expect from this iconic hero of the
Captain of the
Imperial
Third
Fist
Company.
chapter.
Nice to see a helmeted option in there.
Yeah, absolutely. They're taking the.
If you don't want to paint a face, and sometimes you just want to get him on the battlefield nice and fast. You can.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't yellow.
The
I
rumor
don't know,
engine
I
is
might
suggesting
find it
some kind of
easy
bike.
to be honest. He is not the only. There are 5.
Yeah,
of
he
them
looks older
altogether,
than the
so
Lion.
next up
He's not
we
had a
have
great
Hammond
time. He
Bar,
was
a
at
new
one
character
time
for the
banished,
Iron Hands chapter.
but he's come back.
This is
And he also had to fight the Iron Warriors.
captain of the Averni clan.
Yeah.
I don't know which number the Averni clan is.
Captain of the first company.
Yeah.
Again,
But that's a
Terminator
nice,
in the same
like,
scale
Mexican
as,
mattock.
recent, new
Hanok
Terminator
Va,
kits.
Stormbolter.
Some really lovely little features. in there,
Terminator
really
armor?
leaning
That
into
looks
the
like
kind of
Terminator
Iron Hands
armor.
lore. You've got lots of
There's your
nods
Iron Hands
towards
leader.
his,
not Gravis armor, is
know-how and
it?
their kind of alliance with the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah, he's got sort of servo skulls attached by data tethers.
I can't tell. What do you think, chat? Is it
Terminator
Terminator armor or Gravis armor?
Projecting a Fortress of Redemption.
Yeah, he's got like a little holograph
Yeah.
of perhaps a building that they're.
Yeah, I
planning
think
to
Terminator
besiege
as well.
or
And I
something.
think my
Not
favourite
Centurion
thing
armor.
is actually the power maul, which is shaped after a Tetsubo, not a weapon I'm used to seeing, and it just really works on this guy's sort of.
Hood says
straightforward,
Terminator. Yeah,
practical,
yeah, that
extremely
makes sense.
brutal.
Of course, otherwise it'd be like the
and I
half
think for many
hood.
people, this will
kind
be
of thing.
the sort of
This one's cool, guys.
the model which fires your imagination. The Raven
Okay,
Guard
good.
have
I
a new chapter.
Absolutely
Oh.
love this guy. So the,
have a new
the
chapter
new
master?
chapter master of the Raven Guard. And you might be saying, Eddie, they already have a chapter master.
They
What
do
happened
already
to
have a
Shrike?
chapter master.
Shrike has led the Raven Guard for some years, but has decided that actually his place is better in the shadows as the
Ethon
captain of stealth
Shan.
assaults, and he has left Etheon Shan to.
Oh, well,
lead
nice
the
to know
Raven
you can
Guard
just
as
quit.
Their figurehead and their commander, and the miniature is
But okay.
absolutely phenomenal. We very
New
recently had
chapter
Logan
master.
Grimnar released.
You can just use your
only
Shrike
last weekend.
character
And
model
this
as him.
continues,
It's a
the
character
tradition
with
of
lightning
having
claws.
just
It looks to be about the same
absolutely
size.
phenomenally
But this one has
cool looking
birds.
chapter
So many
master
birds.
Yeah, he's
Tiny
redolent in
wings.
sort of the imagery of the Raven Guard chapter that you'd expect to see. There's those sort of tassels that sort of dangle from him with the sort of.
They do look
secret
nice
runic script
tassels.
of deliverance. He's got feathers and fetishes.
Look at those
and
claws.
He's got 3 head
They look kind of
options.
stubby
Aethon
claws.
Shan is a.
But they're looking
really
like the 30k
just
claws that you
tremendous
have for the
piece model, and I think the
Raven Guard.
fans out there are going to be
like the
delighted
curved ends.
by.
They're meant to be for ripping and tearing rather than slicing
And
straight
there's
through.
one more. Sabodin Khan. He is the
Here's the
first
Khan.
captain
There we
of the
go.
White Scars
An actual
chapter.
character on
So
a
he leads
bike.
Its first company on this just mighty looking grav bike. It's got a
No, not like not
Gatling
Night Lord,
cannon
Raven
mounted
Guard.
into the
Totally
front.
different.
He's
Finally getting a
the
bike.
perfect embodiment of that White Scars hero huntsman archetype.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
Gorgon
it's
Terminator
very,
armor?
very cool. There's all sorts of beautiful Chigorian
I
details on
see,
it there.
I
You
see.
can see the kind of pattern on the front of the jet bike is very reminiscent of some of their.
So it's a jet bike
Heresy
rather than a
era
bike.
designs on their
Yeah,
dreadnoughts
it's
and
Horus
things like
Heresy
that.
style.
We've got the model with us in a second. We're going to have a kind of a look at it, but there's some beautiful detail on the back. He's got kind of Chigorian shields and
Dante
sheaths
would
and,
really love to quit
decapitated
being in
enemy
charge of the
heads
Blood
and stuff
Angels.
like that. It is just the most White Scars looking thing you've ever seen.
Did they steal a fan-made conversion for him? I don't think so.
Fast moving stuff. It's been quite a long wait for the White Scars.
Yeah,
to have
absolutely.
No,
a
this
character on a
is-
bike, and it's
this
just
looks
well
like a
done.
new
Haven't,
amalgam.
so not anymore.
Because it has some
really
housing.
good.
I'm assuming at the top there
How do I get
is
my
where the
hands on these?
guns
You
go.
say there's some questions to answer there. There's a series of combat patrols coming out. Listen carefully, I'll explain.
All right,
one
combat
piece of
patrols.
nuance.
So we have.
Sabodin Khan
There's your new
is
character.
in the White Scars
5
combat
assault
patrol. You see it here.
intercessors with an
It's 3
impulsor,
outrider
which you
bikes,
can probably also use for Leagues of
intercessor assault
Votann.
squad,
3
a
bikes.
transport,
Not
and
bad.
Sabodin
Not bad.
Khan. He will be available separately not that long after the release of this combat patrol. He's the only one of these new heroes that comes
Yeah,
inside
so
a
it's
combat patrol.
buy the
others
combat patrol box, and then 2 months
are,
later, if you want the model
available separately,
separately,
but here
you
are the
can
combat
have
patrols
it
that come
there.
out with
But
them.
oh, will he be in
So, we
stock?
have an
I don't
Imperial
know.
Fist combat patrol, just full of
That's a
heavily
nice one.
armored, Imperial Fist troops. You've got
So you got the company
Terminators
leaders.
and a command group, and it just
You got
looks
5
wonderful.
Terminators and
Next
then
up, Iron
5
Hands,
Gravis
heavy
intercessors and 5
heavy
regular
weapons,
intercessors. Okay, that one looks
everything
all
you
right.
might expect from the
Doesn't have the
tough,
character in it, though.
durable,
The Iron Hands one
warriors
also
of the
doesn't have the
Iron,
character in it.
Hands chapter. The Raven
That looks
Guard,
like 10 Gravis
a bit
Marines.
more.
Fast and Phobos.
Yeah, fast.
Way to
That's
do it.
good. I like that. That was strong.
Yeah, it's got stealthy stuff, got some of the assault intercessors, which are basically assault marines.
It'll be tremendous. But
Yeah,
what if
2
you just
fire
want to
strike
carry
turrets
all
is
the
a bit,
flames all the time?
Yeah.
Every model in this entire combat patrol has something that makes
Salamanders
Either
have
a
a
melter gun or a
bike.
flamethrower in some way.
You've
shape,
got
or
your
form.
pyre
I
men.
think there's some assault intercessors who may be
Yeah, assault
within,
intercessors. You got your
Oh,
Gravis Marines with the
but
big
you know
guns.
what? That is a lot of flamer and or melter, and I think you can excuse us.
Some new transfers in those kits as well. Adam, I know you
Yeah,
were
and
very
that
big
just
fan of
has
that
a
when we were looking through.
captain
hit
with
on my like
bits.
secret nerd part.
I don't know if that's a new
Warhammer. I
captain
get really excited
character.
by transfer sheets. I can't do freehand to save my life, but I can stick a decal on with the best of them. Each of these will come with its own transfer sheet, which means that you can apply all the details of the heraldry and everything. There's loads of cool extras on those. Case in point, the Imperial Fist
I
one
like the
has
Imperial
some
Fist one.
decals that do Crimson Fists. So if you were
Yes, you can
a
paint them
fan
as
of the
Crimson Fists.
Fists successors, then you can fill your boots. We'll show you those ahead
Oh,
of
that's
time so
Agrax.
you
Right,
can
right.
sort of
Yeah.
plan your purchases and your painting.
Agrax,
experiences,
Agaton.
as we get closer to
Interesting
these.
choice.
Yeah,
Shall we have a look at the models?
Yeah, I've got some of the.
So it's not the
miniatures
new
right
models.
here.
Only
We've
one
got
of the
some kind
combat
classic stuff
patrols
so you can
comes
see
with the new
scale of
model.
them. And we've also got.
Well, that
some
was
of
a
the
choice,
miniatures. So if
but
we start
okay.
over here with
Oh,
the
there we go.
Raven Guard side, I brought along.
Yeah,
a,
that's why the White Scars
assault-
combat patrol is
assault
taxed, because it
intercessor
has the
side.
new
It's not a
character
small
in it,
model
and
by
none
any
of the
stretch
others
the
do.
imagination, But you sort of get a sense of how
Yeah,
big
you can paint whatever you want
new
pink.
Chapter
There's
Master of the Raven Guard is
pink
there. He's
Space
on,
Marines, why
a
not?
big base. He's going to be quite an intimidating character. Certainly going to be the largest of your infantry models. Probably standing not far off the height of a Redemptor Dreadnought.
No, I'm not
at the
seeing
top
any
of his
upgrade
base there.
screws,
what's
although
interesting
we
is
haven't
you
seen
may have a
anything
tactical
Deathwatch
right
yet,
to, sort of
which
raise them up a
is,
little.
I don't know,
But, Darnus
comforting?
Lysander is such a brute. But, he's not
Or they're
that
just going to
much
say,
shorter than
hey,
either of the,
go over to
the two
Warhammer
models we
community
just
and we'll
mentioned. He
show
really
off
is very dominating.
something
And then
there.
Sabodin Khan next to an Outrider. First of all, check out the sort of similarities between the stylings, the sort of the shape of the bike, very sort of reminiscent of the things that you see on the Outrider. But if you spin it around, check out some of
There
the
are
details
so
on the
many
back.
lovely details on this. I really like the shield.
Might be a
There's
new
some
kill team.
sheaths, there's some extra weapons.
I was expecting a
There's,
Deathwatch combat
as
patrol.
well as having loads of lovely detail. There's also loads of space if you want to do some like Chigorian freehand or something like that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that's going to be up there with the Golden Demons and things, so that where people choose
It's
the
yeah,
models.
it's exciting to see
It
what
looks
people
quite
do
nice the
with
way
it.
it's balanced. I don't know if it's going to stay balanced or if
there
it'll be
we
a
are.
bouncy model
Space
like
Marine,
Celestine.
Sure,
Because
surely
you
that's all
pet
the Space
Celestine on the
Marines we
head
have
to
time
say she's
for.
been a good
So,
girl and she
you
bounces
say
back.
that, but there is a little bit more Space Marine on the way. This
Okay.
one's really exciting.
More
for me,
Space Marine on the way. Okay,
because,
okay.
I got to help a little bit on the team that have brought this to life. I am over the moon to present.
Or is that the
first
Space
ever
Marine?
officially licensed wearable Space Marine helmet. This is the.
Had Games
Lieutenant
Workshop been
Titus
going
Mark
after
10
cosplayers that
helmet
were
made
making
by
things like
Joy Toy.
this?
If you've not heard of Joy
Because I'm
Toy,
pretty sure
where
they
have
had
you
been like saying, hey,
hiding?
shut that
Joy
down,
Toy
you're not allowed to
make
sell that anymore.
beautiful action figures,
But now they're
devised
selling their
from
own
Games
version.
Workshop. They do Warhammer 40,000 ones, and they do Warhammer Age of Sigmar ones, and they do Warhammer the Horus Heresy ones, and now they have made this incredible helmet.
Oh, right,
It's-
Bounty Celestine
it's just
represents
really
her getting back
something.
up to 2+.
And I can talk about some of its features. Inside, it's got an adjustable sort of headband, so you can change it to fit your head.
Yeah, if it
What
was
that means
Beaky
is
or
that
Mark
unless you've got the
7,
tiniest
it
of
might
heads,
look
like
a bit
small child
better,
or a
but
grot,
here's your
you should be able to make
Captain
it fit.
Titus,
I have
Space
the
Marine
most
Lieutenant in ultramarine
preposterous,
colours.
potato head
That's the
imaginable.
idea.
I'm going to say what everyone is thinking, which is just put it on. Adam.
Yeah,
Let's
I
give it a
will.
look like.
But before I do, so this is the prototype that we've been sort of working with them on. And before I do, I'm going to flip a switch because we're under very bright studio lights. But inside, can you see the illuminated a little bit?
Joy Toy
There's some
making
really
like
great pictures that you'll be
actual
able to see
posable
later.
Titans would be
But
good.
I feel like a Space Marine already. This is just
I feel like I'm
the
standing
best.
next to a Space Marine. It's incredible.
I mean, it's never felt so good to feel like Lieutenant Titus.
There we said it. There it is. It's the Lieutenant
lenses inside
Titus helmet.
illuminate. You can buy it with this
Yeah.
lovely display stand as well. This is the Mark 10 helmet stand. It looks like something straight out of a battle barge or a Fortress Monastery.
It does not
cell
look
where
like
Space
it's
Marine
out
might
of a
put his
battle
war gear,
barge. It looks
when
like a
he's
tiny
finished
stand that you're going to
campaign.
probably charge £40
It's your
for
choice whether
separately.
you want to get the helmet separately or with that, but
No,
I've had
no
this
wearable
for
shoulder
quite
pads.
a while, and it looks really cool. When can you get your hands on it? I guess is the
Leandros
question.
helmet.
When can I get my
Chaplain
hands on it?
helmet.
I'm glad
Be a
you
Chaplain
asked.
helmet.
The answer is when this preview show is done, the pre-orders begin.
Oh, is it going to be
you'll
available
able
on the
to go
store
to,
for everyone to see?
WarhammerMerch.com,
Well,
and,
good to
pre-order it.
know.
So, yeah, I'm just over the moon to see this in the flesh. in
Show
the
the
real world.
Deathwatch.
Very, very exciting.
Hit us twice.
We're still not done with Warhammer 40,000. We need to go to Kill Team, to
Right.
the Kill Team.
Yep, Deathwatch kill team. All right, what are we getting? Uh-huh. So it's Necrons. Alright. Geomancer Tombcrawler. It looks like a firstborn. No, it's Primaris. It's Primaris. Absolutely Primaris. Mm-hmm.
So, an amazing,
cool.
an amazing new box for Kill Team, a new expansion, 2 brand new kill teams, a new kill zone, some incredible miniatures.
Oh, you can have
Let's
Deathwatch
take
with
a look.
plasma
This
pistols
is
now.
Kill Team Tomb World, and you get absolutely loads in this box.
It's just bursting with cool
This
stuff. Right?
might be the best Kill Team box we've released. It's
bold
way up
claim,
there.
and I
isn't it?
struggle
It's
to
up there.
argue.
It's up
I don't
there.
know.
There's some beautiful
So what
stuff
are they
in here.
doing? How many did you
We
get?
talk about the battlefield first. You've got some.
Oh, they're talking about the
absolutely
battlefield first.
amazing,
Okay.
Necron
keep seeing the
scenery.
guy- is that a
little bit
Xenophys blade?
Like the Into the Dark scenery we saw
Yeah, absolutely.
Might
a
be.
while back, and certainly allows you to play.
There's definitely a
games
guy with a
in that
big
same
hammer,
sort of
so that's
style.
something.
Doesn't replace it necessarily, but allows you to play that kind of close confines. Of
Yeah,
those
it might be
battles.
more of a boarding
Really
actions thing.
thematic. You've got the kind
But
of
kill team boarding
undead
actions,
Necron
yeah,
crypts
yeah, I
as
see it
the
going together.
warriors wake from their eons long slumber.
They have had,
but the kill teams themselves are probably where
scenarios
the
and
real
stuff
excitement is.
for boarding
if we
actions
start
which
off
uses
with
the kill team terrain.
Deathwatch kill team. This is the return of the original kill team. The name kill
So
team
it's got
itself
5 models.
comes
There's a
from
frag
the
cannon, there's a
concept of
shield and a
Deathwatch,
maul.
and they have come out with an
There's your
amazing
Xenophase
new
blade.
range of miniatures. There are 10 of these guys in the box.
10 in
You
the
can build
box,
them in a
okay.
whole range of different ways, and there are some lovely features. Adam, have you got any favourites from them?
Hopefully that doesn't mean that there are going to be a squad of 10 in rules.
Sort of bottom right, you have a flesh terrier holding a frag cannon, because that's the best way to greet the Xenos, right? Yeah, you can't really go wrong. I called him out as a flesh terrier because I happen to know he is. One of the things that's really striking about this set is that there's loads of different heraldic devices.
Well, I'm glad there's
Some
loads of
quite
heraldry
obscure
stuff.
chapters as well.
Yeah, I mean, so
I mean, we
flesh
have
terriers
a guy in
obscure,
Phobos armor up there,
but
so that's...
they're not necessarily what you might expect.
Okay.
For example,
Maybe
top
these
centre,
won't
that's
get
a member of
40k
the Wolf
rules.
Spears, which is one of the few successes.
Or it'll
to
be
the, Space Wolf chapter.
a chain. I don't know.
Got an
I don't
ultramarine
know.
on the right hand side. The crossed swords on the one bottom
Yeah,
left,
sable
I think
swords?
is probably making him a guardian of the
I
Covenant.
think you might.
Oh,
be right.
Guardian of the Covenant. Okay.
And
Sure.
as a Dark Angels collector, that's quite exciting.
We had a fun game earlier on where we tried to guess all the different chapters.
Yeah.
A red scorpion in there as well. You can't quite make him out, but
There's 5 more that you can
Show
see
the
here.
5
so,
more.
if you see any that are a
Right, so you got one with 2 knives, you got your guy with the plasma gun. Okay, we still have the Infernus Heavy Bolter, but a new version.
Loads of options, loads of different specializations for your kill team to be built with. They
So
really
it's
are
a
the
mixed
personification of pick
Primaris
the right
kill
weapon for the
team
job
set.
when you start your game.
And when you play kill team, the way that this, any kill team works is that you have a roster of different warriors, and then you can choose the ones you want before your game starts.
Yeah, so
You get
like with a
10
lot of other
models
kill
in this
teams,
box to make your
you get a
kill
box
team.
of 10,
You've got loads
you
of
pick
different
6 of them,
options,
or
and
5 of
then
them
you
maybe.
choose before each game. Your kill team in game will be 5 of those warriors, and you can pick any
5 of
5
them,
you
right.
want.
I saw a plasma pistol,
Check it out with
and I
the,
think it's a heavy
underslung
bolt
grenade launcher
pistol.
and all of the grenades just in the harness.
It's great to see a mix of Gravis and Phobos and
Yeah,
Tacticus
absolutely.
as well. So that's a
Right,
Gravis,
so,
effectively
okay,
a
if we've got
heavy
Gravis,
interceptor
Phobos, and
archetype,
Tacticus armor
but,
together,
he's even more
how does
off-gunned
this bode
than you
for
might
the other
expect
kill
a
teams,
normal
like the
heavy
Fortis kill
interceptor
team,
which
the
have already got
Indomitor kill
quite
team?
big guns. In
How
game
much are they
terms,
gonna
Deathwatch have got
last?
All sorts of
I do like the Wolf
specialist
Spear
Xenos
pad,
killing
that's
kit,
good.
But one of their things is effectively in each turning point you can choose one of them to use a special piece of ammunition, and you can basically pick a special rule for that gun to have, so it can be blast or precision or extra AP or something like that. So
I don't know what they're
that,
going to do to us now.
a kind of quite long-standing concept of them having the ammunition.
The fears
to do
are
exactly the job you
real.
need them to do makes its way into kill team, as well as them just being
The mixed
pretty good
armor is a
all-round
surprise
space
for sure.
marine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not
but
an
they're the
upgrade
only thing in
kit.
the kit, although you might excuse our enthusiasm for thinking so. There's also the Canoptic Circle. These are the Necron guardians of this tomb complex. Essentially, their job has been to oversee the reanimation.
I mean, I like the
protocols
little
of
crawly
all of the Necrons that you see in these
things.
alcoves. We'll show you some more of the terrain in a bit. And so
You got a
these are
Scarab base
the,
and one Necron warrior who seems kind of
sentinels
lost.
that are ready to now sort of attack the interlopers.
Yeah,
of
and
the
they were just going
Imperial
about their
faction.
business.
I do like
waking
the
up all
walls
Necrons, and all of a
with
sudden
the
this very
Necrons in
rude
there.
kill team
That's
of
very
Deathwatch
creepy.
burst into their crypt and decided to start.
This
wrecking up
doesn't
the place,
necessarily
so
mean a
they've
new
had to,
data sheet at all.
Mobilize against them. It is a very
Because
powerful
we
kill
already
team.
have
This is
3,
a,
or more, we have lots
Canoptic
of like
Circle. It is
Primaris
led
kill
by a
teams based on
Geomancer, which
sets
is a
of
type
armor.
Cryptech. That's the body
And
you
we
see
have the
there.
Deathwatch
She
veterans.
is
So
the
they might
leader
just
of the
say,
warband, and
we're
she
changing up the
effectively
Deathwatch
kind of
veterans.
is the core of the
Kill
force,
team
right?
rules.
So
And she's big and powerful.
she's
right?
big and powerful. Yeah, she alone can take on a space marine, but the other troops in her force need her to.
So
kind of
this
be
may
at the
be
centre
a
to kind of
Deathwatch kill
coordinate
team
the
that
efforts.
gets no
We've got a
40k
few
rules.
different other
We've seen that
models in the
before
mix
for like
there
the
as
Gene
well.
Stealer cult.
As the
Their
Geomancer,
Brood Brothers
you
squad
have,
didn't get 40k rules.
Remind me of the names of these.
The larger thing on the left-hand side with the guns on the top is the tomb crawler.
So they may drop
Then
the Deathwatch veterans and replace them with this kit. Yeah, I think that's probably what they're going to end up doing.
Then the smaller things,
Which kind of sucks, but
your reanimators or
get the old kit while you can, I guess.
So normally, day to day, they'd just be pooling around, making sure everything's safe and well. They'd be reanimating some Necrons, but when the Deathwatch come knocking, they leap into action.
Yeah, the crawlers have got
10 in a box will probably also mean they get fielded as a squad of 10. They might be available as a squad of 5. We have seen sometimes like the assault intercessors are sold as a squad of 10 but are available as a squad of 5. Don't know if that one counts because they were also a squad of 5 in the 9th edition starter set.
Two really good,
and they've
solid
tended to
gun
respect
platforms, and then you've got the rest of the force which whizzes around and does the objective taking stuff. So it's a really flexible little kill team. Also worth pointing out that the box has a bunch of Necron warriors.
Yep.
Why does it have a bunch of Necron warriors? You might ask. They're not in the kill team. Well,
the Necron warriors are
one of the other
NPOs.
things that you get inside this box is rules for playing basically co-op missions where you both play as Deathwatch and you're up against hordes, undying hordes of Necron warriors. As
That's kind of cool.
It's super fun.
I mean, Deathwatch
the
thematically
chance to
punching
do
loads of
this
Necron
as
warriors.
a
I can get
Deathwatch
behind
kill
that.
Team, sort of stalking around a Necron, awakening Necron.
Yeah, co-op Deathwatch is going to be very thematic.
Appealing to say no
and just a great other way of playing.
And you've got
the game.
portals,
Totally
like
jump on
portal
it. Have a look
doors.
around this board, as
Interesting.
you can see in some of those alcoves, there are those reanimating Necrons.
There's a lot of
And there's, like,
40k
weird
that can do
portals,
well
cliffs,
having
and all
like
sorts of stuff,
replete
yeah.
an NPO
There's four
or
of them,
non-player
so you
operatives,
can
non-player
imagine
units.
they've been asleep for so long
Just
that
Armageddon.
the
I
size of
cannot
them
get away with the
will
Armageddon
also
stuff.
fall down.
It feels
Plus,
like they should
and all
start on
the
objectives
and everything with
to
the
just have these random units on objectives and they
this
stay
is-
there and you've got to charge them and
this is gonna
shoot
be
them to get rid of them.
Warhammer Adventures
Instead, they go
in,
first and they charge immediately off the
Cthulhu.
objective towards you when it
And
doesn't
of course,
work so
both
good.
of these
Have Deathwatch veterans been removed from the Games Workshop shop yet?
There'll be a way to
They
use
have
your
from the
Deathwatch
American
in,
shop,
that game
not
as
from the
well,
UK
and from the
shop.
Necrons. And of course, there is a new book, a new dossier that comes with this, which has all the rules you need to play these in your games of Kill Team.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of them in the flesh. It comes in a box. There you go. Let's have a look at some of these in the flesh. In particular, it'd be good to get the Geomancer in because that gives a sense of the scale. So my favourite with the frag cannon, but when you put the Geomancer in here, square enough.
So, I mean, this could be a one-off
there's some,
special
like,
rule
narrative
kit. I'm thinking like the
around
Nemesis
here,
Claw
which is
kit.
quite cool.
That could be what these Primaris, mixed Primaris Deathwatch squad is.
If you haven't already tweaked yet, this is a raptor. This guy. So you get a nice mix of scale from
Your Knife
obviously,
Reaver
you've got
man,
the
you've got your Heavy
Geomancer
Maul
and
man.
the,
But it's going to be one Heavy Maul for a squad of 10, not 4 for a squad of 10, like you currently get in the Deathwatch squad.
Exciting time for Kill Team, I think. The Deathwatch are very popular with lots of fans.
Isn't 10 models a better deal for Deathwatch buttons? We don't know the price yet.
I think
The
wouldn't
price
be an
of so
exaggeration to
many
say
of the
that
Games
most
Workshop
requested
things
Kill
is
Team, since the
way
concept
and
of
above
Kill
what it should
Team,
be.
was sort of re-emerged into the
Yeah,
consciousness.
absolutely. Right. I think we've done it.
I think we've done it.
We're around the 90-minute mark. I did say it would be a long one, but we've shown you all
Like
of our
it's about
Warhammer
£50
previews.
for some of
We
the
should
kill
go to
teams.
Question corner. That was good prompt.
Yeah,
Well done.
£45.
Simon, it's probably a question.
So it's like
or
an
three,
extra
right?
£10
There's
on
quite a
top of the
few.
normal stuff.
Yeah. Do you want some rapid fire ones to get you going?
Hit us. Let's see what we can do.
We're within 12.
Okay, let's go. So start off with Old World. Are the new Tomb King minis resin or plastic?
They are plastic.
Multi-part plastic kits. Definitely said it.
Let's go with the Kill
Yeah,
Team
it's probably to
Teamworld.
replace
Is
the old
new
Deathwatch,
Necron
which is not what we
similar in
wanted.
dimension to the
Not
Galliard?
really what we wanted.
It is similar. I don't think it's exactly the same.
Yeah, Gallo Dark would be a good.
They look
like,
good models. It's
reference
just
point.
I'm afraid of like rules and
so
invalidating
we've got,
old things, especially
Warhammer
when you've got
Underworlds, will
so
the new
many
warbands
big
or any of the
Thunderhammers, and
re-released
I was like,
standard
1 per
Warhammer
10.
warbands be receiving rules to use them in
Right.
Age of Sigmar?
I believe you can use all of them in Age of Sigmar, can't you? I don't want to.
Yeah, it's an expensive set of tokens.
But
it's like
going to commit. There you go.
Almost
Showing my
£10
face
extra
as
because
face
it's a
of
kill team box.
non-committal.
So 10
One thing that is worth
Marines,
saying
those
is that
Deathwatch
quite a lot
Marines,
of the new
you
battle
can
zones
expect
have a
close to
place for
£50, which means you're
Underworlds
looking at
warbands
like
as generic,
close to
half
100
types
United
of
States
that thing.
dollars
So
for that
Doomsday
squad.
Kit, for example, you've got a place for the.
That's
Well,
$10
I
per
think it's a
model.
more
That's
comprehensive answer.
That's
Eddie,
probably
well
the place that you'll find them going forwards.
Yeah, that's fair. The Hellsmiths are going to Warcraft. We said that already. We have said
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Well done us.
Grey Knights have the smallest models.
So
Yeah, they're like the dwarf
the
faction.
Adepts Astartes ones we've just seen. Does Subedin Khan have a helmeted option?
He does have a helmeted option.
Very cool.
Although I think
No, the
any adherence
Deathwatch
to health
veteran
and safety
team, if you've
would
got 4 of
be
the
an
same
absolute
special
donation
weapons on a
when
squad of
you're
10,
riding
that's
free
not
and
allowed and
You
hasn't
might
been
be
since
riding
December.
in
They won't have updated the app
point,
No,
you're probably
already
allowed-
in
just-
preparation for models that aren't
They've got
released yet.
reinforced skulls, I'm sure they'll be fine.
It's that you're only allowed 2 of the
so
Infernus Heavy
where can we
Bolters and
expect to see
2
the
Frag
law and
Cannons. You
rules
can't
for
have 4 of the same.
That is a great question.
That's a good question.
The rules will
Maybe
be
it's that.
available online.
Does that mean
some of the
firstborn
rules, if the
Primaris
character
veterans being
is being
phased out for the
re-released or
Primaris
exists
kill team
in
box?
Space Marine,
Probably.
Yeah,
That's
Code Lysander
probably
already
what's
there.
going to happen.
The other rules will be available online.
And it'll be
I'm really glad you
by
asked
this
about the
one
lore,
team,
because I
and
know
that
a
is your
thing.
Deathwatch kill team.
Phil Kelly
And then
from
we'll have to
Warhammer
see if
40,000,
they
lore
get
team, came and had a chat with
agents
me, and
rules,
they've written
probably
full background,
40k rules,
narrative stories, which will be hosting on
Astartes,
Warhammer communities
maybe,
leading
or they
up
may
to
do
those
nothing.
when that happens.
They may do nothing.
I'm super excited because I don't know anything about Aethon Shan, and I want to learn his story. So yes, there we go.
Awesome. So we've got
Really
two
want to do
more,
Deathwatch,
ones
but I'm
we
like
can.
too afraid to build them
Big
beyond
Wars,
just painting
Heresy,
normal
Age of Darkness
Marines.
are
That's
some of the
perfectly
wargame
fair.
options that are
Yeah.
currently no longer available to certain units, ever going to be revisited.
So that's a good question. So we do know that there will be more things released in plastic across the course of this edition. With some of those plastic kits, you may see war gear options
Is this Horus Heresy?
returning
Yeah,
that
okay.
have been available.
They're sort of dealing
You
with
might
Horus
also
Heresy
see some
still.
war gear options that have never existed before added to those units. So hopefully that answers some of the question.
Yeah, Grant. One last one was on the
don't know if they'll be able to
scouring.
fit in the
How
flyer.
many
We'll have to
books
see.
can we expect to see in the series?
At least one.
A Gravis
because
setter
it's
with
got
a
the
bolt
number one on
rifle
the
with
side of
grenade
it.
launcher.
I don't want
Kinda
to
cool.
steal the thunder of any future sort of news from Black Library other than to announce it today. But what they have told us, and it was one of the best conversations of my professional life ever, to sit down with the editing team from Black Library as they sort of poured the scouring lore into my open brain, was this is a multi-book, multi-author series, and so you're going to be following it for some.
Yeah, it's a lot of books in the scouring. I can see
yeah.
that coming.
Well, there's bazillions more questions that I couldn't possibly get to. They're scrolling past so quick. It's all I could do to find the ones I got. But yeah, thanks.
That's great.
I think that's the whole show, yeah.
What
So
remains, I
when
guess, at this
they're
point
done
in the juncture
talking,
is,
we're
first
going to
of
look
all,
at the models
thank all of you for
individually
tuning in and
for the
spending
Deathwatch,
90
because that's
minutes
really
of
what we're here for.
brilliant Warhammer fun with
Not
us.
so much
I've really enjoyed
squads.
myself.
I had a great time. I always have a great time.
Awesome.
I hope they
There's
get
some,
agent rules so
general
that lots of people
housekeeping
can use
to
them,
do.
but
If you
they may
missed
not get
anything
any body
in
K
this
rules.
and you want to know more, go to warhammercommunity.com, read the articles that are there on the website. There's pictures, there's more information than Eddie and I would have remembered to tell you, and you can watch the videos back as well. If you are looking for more Warhammer excitement right now in your life, we're going to throw back to Takoma, where there's Warhammer 40,000 tournament taking place, I believe, right now is what we're going back to.
Yeah, they're not going to mention
so,
rules for now.
You can hang around here, especially on the
We'll
Twitch
just have to
channel. I
see what
believe that is
happens.
True.
They've already done the War of the
What else
Beast
is there
book
to say?
series.
Well,
Canonically,
the
yeah.
helmet.
That's like
Go and find
32nd
it on
millennium.
warhammermerch.com.
Scouring is
We're
31st
done.
millennium.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you.
There was a lot
Simon,
of
for
dwarves. This was an
asking
Oops All
questions.
Dwarves stream.
Thanks to the crew here who've made it all work. Eddie, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
No, it wasn't a
Can't
video
wait to
game
see
one.
you
The
again next
video
time.
game ones they do a separate special stream for. Okay. So if I go to this and change that aspect, here we go. So let's have a look at the kill teams. Why is that in black? Is there a setting I need to change or something? That is black on black. That is not great to see. Okay. So, beneath the rad-washed wastes and dusty chasms of Somneth lurks an existential threat to the Imperial forces in the Nephilim sector. A dormant Necron world, which could spell disaster. Have I got something special on, like... Have I chroma keyed this or something? No, it's just really not coming through very well. Okay. How odd. But there we can sort of read it. Yeah, I'm surprised there's not more... Well, they've already done Tyrannid, so they couldn't do anything else there. So, there's a dormant tomb world which could spell in disaster for the Indomitus Crusade. Where is the Nephilim sector? Is that near... Is that in the east with the Necrons? Or is it in the west where the Fourth Tyrannic War is happening? Right, humanity's armies are demanded elsewhere. All the commanders in the region, only the Xenos hunters of Watch Fortress Prescience understand the true dangers. And that's the trailer we've already seen. Okay. Yeah. Well, look at the models. Come on. Nice image of the tomb world. The text says... the elite space marines of the Deathwatch among the most versatile and adaptable warriors. Lots of veterans. They come from different chapters. Apart from, they also got a load of black shields. It was like, hey, we're doing Primaris now. Deathwatch get a standing army, which was very odd. But never mind. These kill teams are the ultimate weapons for conducting clandestine operations and ultimate and critical missions behind enemy lines. So much so, the game is named after them. Yeah, it's Kill Team. Each one is carefully chosen from specialists with unique skills. You'll pick 5 from among 11 diverse candidates. So that may be 11 different models, or it may be 10 models, but one of them can be built another way. So we have, there's our new Watch Sergeant. So there's a plasma pistol and your basic power sword. There's your Bombard, which is a guy with a frag cannon. The gunner has a plasma gun. That's the Primaris plasma gun. I'm sure that there was probably be a melter rifle of some sort as well. And a breacher. So, yeah, they do have like a mini grenade launcher. Or maybe that's just where special shells are kept. I don't know. That could be a grenade launcher. We have the Horde Slayer, which is your heavy bolter / Infernus heavy bolter. Ah, you're welcome on my good ponies. The Head Taker, which is your Reaver with 2 knives. I suppose they could also count as a Black Shield if Black Shield is still allowed. Marksman, it's a basic guy with a bolt gun. The Aegis, which is the shield, and also the Maul. You can make that with the current kit. Demolisher is the big hammer. Disruptor is your Phobos man. And Blade Master, which is a guy with a pistol and the Xeno sword. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. Okay, there are 11 models. I thought maybe the Watch Sergeant and the Blade Master might have been made out of the same kit. It looks like the same kit. Yeah, that's the same. That's exactly the same. Okay, so you get 10 models, and the Watch Sergeant can instead be built as a Blade Master. Right. I'm seeing like combi weapons being gone, a limited number of hammers. Okay, we get plasma guns. We get one guy with Gravis armor, which is called the Breacher when you have a big hammer. Surely that'd be the Breacher, but that's the Demolisher. No, totally different. No shotguns. No sniper rifles. Some guys just have bolt guns. I'm not a big fan of that aspect. And if that's a molded Raptor's shoulder pad, I'm not so enjoying like the pre-molded stuff. Yeah, otherwise it's like you've got a bland Deathwatch kill team, which is not what I want. Monoposeness, probably. Looking at some of the weapons, they look exactly like... I mean, that model, apart from the head and the arms, is a monopose model. That's going to be a monopose model. I can't see that being like, oh yeah, there's alternate arms or something. Maybe there'll be some extra heads and that's about it. But this is looking very monopose, I will say. Yeah. And then they're going to have mixed toughness again if these get 40k rules. So you'll have some that are toughness... The Breachers are toughness 6. The Gravis armor stuff. The others are all toughness 4. So like Kill Team Cassius, you're going to have a lower toughness until you lose enough of the toughness 4 guys that there's then an equal number of toughness 6 and toughness 4. Then you use toughness 6. But it looks like we've got... what? I mean, that looks... Is that Gravis armor? That could be Gravis armor. So there's 2, 3 in Gravis armor. So when you're down to 6 models, then you can use toughness 6. So according to the Asterix, a bit lower down, it's the heavy Gravis, so you can only build 2 of the 3 options. So it might be 2 of the same guys on the sprue. Do the heavy guys look kind of the same? I mean, that's a guy with a gun pointing down. Oh yeah, I see it now. Get the right one. Yeah, that's the same Gravis man. Mm-hmm. That's the same model. And looking at the Phobos guys. Get it. Right one. There we go. That and that. That's the same model, isn't it? One. Yeah, with the pouch on the left. 1 foot forward, 1 foot. Yep, that's the same. Okay, the Demolisher. Is he got another model that's exactly the same as him? Yep, there he is, the Marksman. That is the same guy, but with different arms. And the torso is the other way. Okay. Might get a slightly posable torso. Oh, no, the Gunner. It's going to be the Gunner and the Marksman are the same. Yeah, that looks like the same. Perhaps with different assorted things on their top. Like at the back, it's got the scanner. Different backpack because, of course, he's got plasma. That is not as many different poses as I even expected. Actually, that Gravis guy looks a lot like he's posed the same as the others. So we may see 3 of some kinds. Oh, no. Okay, we haven't got that many. Right, lots of different jobs for the people in the kill team. The team is 5 operatives. You get the full 10 in the box. So you can build almost all of the options. Right, but maybe you can't have the Infernus Heavy Bolter and the Frag Cannon in the same one. Let's go down to the very bottom where it's got the asterisks. Yeah, the Gravis armored body can build 3 different operatives, of which you choose 2. Right, so when it's 10 models in the box, but we're showing off 11, it's because of the 3 Gravis models, there are only 2 Gravis models. 10 models in the box, 11 possible operatives you can build. That special guy with the Blade Master, was it? Yeah, this guy and this guy. Right, so you get 1 sprue of 5 guys, which has a Gravis man, a Phobos man, the Sergeant, the Gunner, and then I guess, what, the Aegis guy? Oh, right. Is the Aegis guy and the Demolisher the same? Yeah, those are the same legs and torso. Right. So it's a kit of 5. If this got 40k rules under the sort of box locking they're doing at the moment, you could either have a shield or you could have a heavy hammer in a squad of 5. You could either have the Disruptor or you can have the Reaver with the knives. You can either have an Infernus Heavy Bolter or you can have the regular big... What's it called? The big gun. That one. The one the Breacher has. You either have a Watch Sergeant with a Plasma Pistol and a Power Sword, or you have a Blade Master with a Bolt Pistol and a Xenophase Blade. Maybe they'll have allowances for the Watchmaster with a Xenophase Blade and a Plasma Pistol. Awkward if you built yours with Combi Melters, of course, from the previous one. So we don't know what happens to the previous kit. Is that going to be Legends, or is it just going to be said, yeah, it's deleted, it's gone? Maybe not right away, maybe next edition. And even if this does get 40k rules, this Primaris version has some 40k rules, we won't know if we're going to get Primaris... No, we won't know if we're going to get Legends versions until, like, weeks and weeks afterwards for the Firstborn stuff. And it's then very confusing because they've already released the Codex. In Imperial Agents is the Firstborn models. Yeah, so this is going to be 2 small sprues of 5. And because the loadouts are similar, I could see this replacing veterans, but maybe not until next edition. No, they will do it now. They will do it now. Because think of, like, the Tyranids with the Raveners. Hey, your Raveners. Ooh, yeah, we've got a new kit for them. So the old Raveners, the 3-6, go. New ones come back. They need to just put things in Legends, because so many things are not getting Legends. Well, I thought I would be worried and concerned and disappointed by the Deathwatch. The models look nice, but we're all asking the same question. What does this mean for the veteran boxes we have next to us? Yeah, the base sizes are a bit different because Gravis are on 40mm. So, if you already have the frag cannon stuff, oh, you can get away with it. I mean, it's fine. Base sizes matter like so very little. And in a squad which has only one guy with a separate base, and it's not like the Wolves and the Wolf Quad, the Atlan Jackals, where it's 4 bikers and then one 50mm base or 60mm base, like an absurdly big base for the Wolf Quad. It's not like that. It's 4 32mm bases and then one 40mm base. That's going to be a bit different. When's this box going to be available? I don't know. I don't think this means new customization options. I think it means far fewer customization options than the previous box. For like shoulder pads, they might just have... I don't know if they will be pre-molded. I know people are like, they look kind of pre-molded. Maybe they are? Yeah, that Ultramarines one looks pre-molded. That Wolf Spears one also looks pre-molded. Am I right that Wolf Spears are like a Primaris Space Wolves? Because the Space Wolves are like, no, we do our own thing. We didn't break into chapters. No one told Cole, who has made a chapter of Space Wolves. I think that's the idea behind them. Yeah, they look sculpted, so you might get like 2 shoulder pads on the sprue, and you pick one or the other. Which, if it is that, and probably is just that, that is going to be a far cry less than what we currently get, which is like 17 or 18 or around there. A lot of shoulder pads you get on the Deathwatch veterans. Or what it might be is like this Horde Slayer guy, the arm with the gun has these sculpted on shoulder pad. So everyone with an Infernus Heavy Bolter will be a Gravis Salamander, because the shoulder pad is attached to the arm, which is attached to the gun. If you want the gun, you have the arm. If you want that gun, you have that shoulder pad. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Sculpted shoulder pads, they're nice to paint. However, if it's a chapter 1, that's not so great. Is this guy White Scars? I think this guy's White Scars. Yeah. And that's another point that's a bit worse. So if you want to make the Deathwatch veterans that we currently have look like these guys, you've got one with them all. Do one with either an Infernus Heavy Bolter or the Frag Cannon. Do, I don't know, the Sergeant. There isn't a bolt pistol in that Deathwatch veterans box. But there is, like, the sword. I can't... Yeah, they could have done a sheet of transfers, but no. No, I think it looks like sculpted on. And they're trying to do, like, Mark 10 stuff with Deathwatch. With stuff strapped to the chest. So that Demolisher guy looks like half Reaver, half Intercessor. Top half Reaver, bottom half Intercessor. Yeah, I can see how people are going to be like, oh, there's an optimal way to do it. Great, so I'll have 2 Infernus Heavy Bolters, 2 Hammers, 2 maybe melee Phobos Mens, or you could have a Disruptor guy. There's no Squad Medic, which is something they could have done. But yeah. Alright, is there anything else in the article? Okay, yeah, box of 10. Then we have the Necron stuff, which is the Geomancer, Tomb, Citadel. Okay, little crawly creatures. Tomb Crawlers, I like the look of them. They're like mini tomb spiders. And then, those are called Warriors. We already have Necron Warriors. That's a confusing name. Firepowers from the Tomb Crawlers. They can banish people to another dimension. Oh, the Macrosite Warriors. Okay. Don't know if they'll get 40k rules. This might be like a kill team in itself that gets 40k rules. It could be that. We don't know. Then we get more close quarters stuff, which we got with Gallo Dark. Or kill team Into the Dark. This time Necron themed with portals, teleportation pads, regeneration walls. Yeah. That looks okay. If you play kill team, that looks okay. I prefer more of the open-top kill team stuff. Same for Necromunda. I prefer like the older 90s with gantries and walkways and things. So, much like Kill Team Typhon, the box has a full set of NPOs, in this case 10 Necron Warriors and 3 Scarab Swarms. So there's joint ops, adversary ops, so you can do cooperative things together. Yeah, modular walls, they can be taken apart. You can smash them. Okay, I mean, I may read that because there might be some stuff about the Deathwatch. What are we going to call this kind of kill team? Is it going to be the Fortis kill team? Is that what a new Fortis kill team looks like? Is it going to replace... No, they're just calling Deathwatch veterans. Yeah, they're just calling Deathwatch veterans. And then, oh, the kill teams of old. This is why you shouldn't be a Deathwatch player. The things change too much. Right, so there'll be more information on the rules and miniatures as we get closer to the release date, and then they'll probably say stuff like, ah, yes, this will be replacing the Deathwatch veterans, or it won't be replacing the Deathwatch veterans, and it'll be called a Primaris Deathwatch Veteran Squad, although they've been getting rid of that, like, moniker as a term. All right. So the more we look at it, the more disappointing it gets, so maybe we'll stop looking at it. It's okay. The models are nice. The rules and what happens to Deathwatch are the not nice parts. Alas. Alright, I think we'll leave it there. So that's the new Kill Team sculpt. It looks like an easy to build thing, so maybe we'll get like one as a model of the month. Go to your local Games Workshop, get a guy with a frag cannon on a 40mm base. That could be okay. I would be fine with something like that. We'll see what they do. Maybe I just need to randomly pick up more Space Marines from places. But Space Marine models are at least relatively easy to source. And if you have a Deathwatch veteran box, if you can get a Gravis man, stick these arms on him. There you go, it works. I think they should fit. If the Breacher has the stats of the Deathwatch heavy bolt rifle, you might want to run 2 with grenade launchers. That's pretty good, but think again. Like the sniper rifle and the shotgun in the Deathwatch veterans, as they currently are, they are damage 2 already. If you want actual damage 2, you have the Infernus heavy bolters. Because it's just a better gun. It's a thought. It's a thought. Yeah, it's a yes, good, no. It's not, I think the veterans online are sold out. So you might be able to alter the shoulder pad. We don't know what they're actually going to come with. Firstborn arms barely fit on Primaris, I don't know about Gravis. They do fit perfectly fine on the Primaris Marines, because I've done quite a few of them. Especially with like, oh yeah, hey, I'm totally new, haven't been playing since 2nd edition. Hey, can I have a free model, free Space Marine man? And I'm gonna put a Thunderhammer on him. Shotgun for the Phobos Marine. Yeah, that would be better. Or do they have the sniper rifle? I mean, when we're saying, oh no, that looks like the regular Phobos bolt gun rather than the Stalker bolter. Could have had the Stalker bolter. Marksman should have had a Stalker bolter. But no, that looks like the, hey, yeah, it's got the fire selector. It just could be assault. It could be heavy. It's whatever you want it to be. Plasma looks like plasma. It looks like it's only going to be plasma. There's no like melter gun, no flamer, no combi weapons. Nice to have pistols. I got my wish of Deathwatch having pistols. If you can go to your local gaming store and buy the Deathwatch veteran kit that's 20% off, you could do that. You can also check the description of this video that has affiliates for United States, UK, which also delivers to Europe, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. It's all there for much cheaper things for the current kit, if they still have them around. Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy one to convert into if they get 40k rules, which we don't know if they will. It may be a, hey, come next edition they get 40k rules, or I think it's more likely they will get rules, much like the Raveners did for the Tyranids, to replace what we currently have. Ah, yeah. Heavy bolt rifle is AP -2 and damage 2. But the Infernus Heavy Bolter also has a heavy flamer attached. That's the alternative part. Yeah, no melter options. I mean, they're not the Holy Trinity. They're not battle sisters with flamers, melters, and bolters. I like that some of it's the same. We've sort of seen this coming since the Deathwatch vignette, which had a head-taker-looking guy drop from the ceiling. It had a marksman who just stood at the side and fired his bolter, and an Aegis guy with a shield, but with a sword. Maybe their heads are interchangeable. But I'm not seeing any distinctly Deathwatch heads. That just has a skull on top. That isn't a Deathwatch special head. Those are bare heads. That's a half head. That's another half helmet. So not especially Deathwatch. That's just got a scope. Those heads don't look Deathwatch. I can see the attempt made with the backpacks to make them look more Deathwatchy. I'm also disappointed by the monoposeness of the kits. But that's the modern Games Workshop kits. Whereas the 2016 Deathwatch kit was so perfect. 5 torsos, 5 legs, an alternative backpack so you can have a cloak. Then you put them all the bits together however you want. You pose them however you want. There are so many arms. Let me check the kit, because it has... Where'd I put it? Is it in... Nope. Box. I swear I had it, and it had a list of all of the different bits you get in the box. Because there's a lot of pieces, a lot of heads, a lot of shoulder pads, and then a lot of weapons. No, I can't see. There it is. There it is. If it opens. Okay, so you get 7 Space Marine heads, and then a lot more. Or is it just a set? And then helmets, then extra helmets. 5 Deathwatch left shoulder pads, 18 chapter-specific shoulder pads, 5 Deathwatch bolters with shot selectors, 5 Deathwatch power swords, actually 6 Deathwatch power swords, because you also got one for the other hand. That isn't correct, but that was from the Games Workshop website. 2 Thunder Hammers, a frag cannon, 2 Storm Shields, 2 shotguns, an Infernus Heavy Bolter, a Stalker Pattern Bolt Gun, and guy reloading, 2 Power Maces, and a Xenophase Blade. It was a lot of stuff. And instead we're getting, what, 6? Yeah, not a lot of options. I can see it being quite a big sprue if it's got to fit 3 different weapon options or 2 different weapon options for everyone. We'll see what happens when the rules come out, and then I can complain about it again. Right, I have been streaming for long enough. This has been fun, mostly, and then despairing, mostly. We'll see. We'll see. They've got some good stuff. There's some good elements in this. Yeah, so if you've got a Deathwatch veteran kit and you can make them look like these new veterans, I would do that. I would do that. Okay. Everyone will be ending now. Last chance to get your tips in. There's a hat on my shoulder because it's the Deathwatch hat that I made into a shoulder pad. Okay. Right. Yeah, we just need to see the rules and the sprue. Okay, have a good day. Have a good day. Have a great day. Have a great day of 40k.